fine, thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. I'm not starting this show off on a less than serious note. It's very serious today. Got many serious things we want to discuss. First and foremost, I have a question. I should have asked this question a long time ago, but I'm going to ask it now because I'm genuinely curious. To you, what are the biggest issues in this election? We've talked about every angle. We've talked about the possibilities. We've talked about history. We've talked about policy. Like, what do you want to see? What changes do you want made? What do you disagree with about the direction of this country? We've talked about the vitriolic rhetoric that is coming, quite honestly, from both sides. What is important to you, Milwaukeeans, or those of you that live abroad? I might be missing the mark here. There might be something that is looming under the surface that's motivating voters that I'm just unaware of. So to you, specifically, what is motivating you? Is it you're just anti-Trump? Are you pro-Kamala? Are you a Republican? Are you a MAGA Republican? Are you a Democrat, a liberal? Are you a progressive? Are you a moderate? Like, what motivates you specifically? Let's talk to whoever this person is on line one. Good morning.
Good morning. This is John. I'm calling to say what I think is what's important. What the important issue is.
All right, John. What do you got?
I think it's character, decency on being decided.
So, of all of the issues that exist and all the problems facing our country, it's character to you.
Yeah, I mean. The reason that I say that is I think that to those who are not sure they're going to vote or feel like they're not going to vote, I think that I would say to them that voting assures you a seat at the table, assures you a seat at the table. And you know how that old saying goes, those who don't take their seat at the table are subject to find themselves on the menu. And to those who are going to vote but are still on the fence about who it's going to be, I just think there's a few considerations, and those are considerations of character and decency. I think that as Americans decide who they want as the next president, should character be one of their considerations? Does character matter? Is the candidate an honest and decent human being? Is the candidate a good role model for our kids? How will a candidate handle a crisis? Has the candidate faced a crisis before? I mean, a pandemic, for example. How did she or he handle it? Can we trust his or her judgment? Are we confident that she or he will do the right thing? I mean, people like our pastors, our teachers, our coaches, our president. I mean, they're all figures who inspire or bring out the best in us. Is this candidate one of those kinds of figures? Does the candidate bring us together as Americans, as human beings, as God's children? I think that America will be sending a message on November 5th about whether we think character and decency still matter.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. That was very thoughtful.
Thank you.
All right. No, that's a good one. I can't disagree with that. I can get into the weeds on a bunch of different reasons why I'm choosing the candidate that I'm choosing. It's a number of candidates on the ballot that I'm going to be voting for. And I'm voting no on the referendum. Don't forget there's a referendum in which they're trying to change the Wisconsin Constitution. We don't need to do that. 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. What is the issue that is most important to you? Then there's a bunch of issues, and you can go in a whole lot of different directions, as we do on this show for hours at a time. I think character is very important. Think about this for a second. If you have a daughter and you left your daughter alone with Donald Trump, let's say she's 17. Be honest with me. Would you feel comfortable leaving your 17-year-old daughter alone in a room with Donald Trump for an hour? Be honest. Okay? Now, think about what could happen based on his past behaviors if you left your daughter alone with Donald Trump in a room for an hour. I would be out of my mind about what he would do or say to my child. Now, think about this. If you left your 17-year-old daughter in a room with Kamala Harris, after that hour, your daughter might want to be a lawyer. She might want to be a prosecutor. She might want to run for the U.S. Senate, or your daughter might want to run for president. Leaving your daughter alone with Donald Trump is going to require your child to get therapy. I can assure you of this. And so if you wouldn't leave your child, your woman child, your daughter alone with Donald Trump, why in the hell would you ask him to take care of this country? To be alone with the secrets of this country, to be the caretaker of the American people for 4 years. If you wouldn't leave your woman child or your teenage daughter with Donald Trump, then why in the hell would you vote for him? Let's talk to Tina. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you, Tina?
I'm doing well, thank you, and good morning.
Good morning.
So I am going to change my comment based on your comment and say, why in the hell, or how in the hell, would you leave your 17-year-old black son with Kamala Harris as president? Have you even researched her history of incarceration for black males?
So you think that if I left my 17-year-old son with Kamala Harris, she's going to slap some cuffs on him and throw him in prison for 30 years?
Based on her past history, if that's how you want to go.
We got a thing going here, Tina. Tell me what you think her past history is to where my 17-year-old son, after an hour with her, would probably end up like George Floyd, according to you. So what do you know about her past history?
Well, see, there you go, flipping the conversation.
No. That was hyperbole.
I didn't say she was going to kill him. I didn't say she was going to kill him. Okay. I said look at her history, her incarceration of black males, and then tell me why you would vote for her.
Because my 17-year-old son that would be sitting with Kamala Harris in a room has not broken any laws, nor does she have the ability or the authority to arrest him. But tell me what you know about her history where you are giving me caution as to why I shouldn't leave my 17-year-old son with her. Tell me what you know about her history.
Her history is leaving black men incarcerated beyond when they should be incarcerated and not following the letter of the law in that respect.
So you don't think that there's a judicial system or state law that mandates those things? A prosecutor can only present evidence to a jury, then a jury decides and a judge decides. Prosecutor's job is done after that. So if someone is not released from prison, how is that a prosecutor's fault? You think the prosecutors have that kind of power? What does a prosecutor do, Tina?
So she couldn't enact any change as prosecutor, so she's already had 3 years in office and won't espouse herself to where we are. You ask yourself this: are you better off now with the past 3 years, 4 years of the Democratic presidency? I don't know anybody that would answer that yes. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like either side. So we need to flip the question where it really needs to be. Why in this country right now are these two people, and quite frankly, they're both idiots, why are they our only two options?
I don't think that one of them is an idiot. The other thing is there's a process. There's a primary process.
Well, one of them just mocked God on national TV. I don't hear any of y'all talking about that.
Say it again.
She hears Jesus is Lord and she thinks it's funny. She just mocked God on national TV.
Do you know that one of Donald
I'll tell you one
Trump's...
thing, read your
Tina,
Bible.
hang on.
God is not mocked.
Now we got into the Bible.
God will not be mocked.
Tina, do you know that very recently one of Donald Trump's appointed military advisors, his name is John Kelly, discussed a conversation he had with Donald Trump where Donald Trump was praising Adolf Hitler? Are you okay with that? You a Nazi, Tina? You want to bring back Nazi Germany?
Well,
that's a yes or a no?
You do.
That's a yes
so
or a no.
Instead of answering my question, did she or did she not mock God, you go back to somebody claims they said.
Tina, that is between Kamala Harris and God.
It's hearsay.
God will sort that out, Tina. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But let me ask you this, Tina. Would you leave your 17-year-old daughter alone with someone who's been adjudicated a rapist? Someone who's a philanderer? Oh, okay. All right. That's all we needed. Oh, I see y'all hot today. Come on, then. If you want to get hot, let's get hot. You know what, Rick? It's going to be one of them kind of days. And guess what? I got popcorn for today. Mm-hmm. I got that goody gourmets. Let's talk to Jay. Jay, you're on 101.7 The Truth.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I think that this election is about qualifications. Look at both of their backgrounds. One of these candidates wouldn't pass a background check for any other job in America, and yet, for some insane reason, millions of Americans are enthusiastically prepared to say, yes, he is qualified to be the chief executive of the United States. Only in America, my friend. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, Jay. That is so true. Trump would have to check the felon box. Oh, my God. Trump couldn't even get hired at the McDonald's where they staged that fake campaign event. Did y'all see that a couple of days ago where Donald Trump pretended to work at a McDonald's that they closed to the public, and a McDonald's where they had people that the campaign picked out to come to the drive-thru when he served them their food? Trump couldn't even get a job at the McDonald's, and I don't know if the McDonald's hires felons, but I'm sure they'd rather not. I'm going to take a break, come back. We're going to talk to Bob on the other side. The question is, what issue is most important to you, and what is motivating you to vote or to pay more attention to this election than previous elections? Is there a particular issue? Is there a policy? Maybe it's a political party for you. Maybe it's a social issue. Maybe it's a cultural issue. Maybe it's about your rights. Maybe it's about the Constitution. What issue is motivating you to vote in this 2024 presidential election? You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. Truth Nation, the election is less than 3 weeks away, and we are excited for our final The Truth on Politics on Tuesday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This show will break down the 2024 election and discuss whether VP Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump is the best candidate for our community. Do not miss the last The Truth on Politics on Tuesday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Dr. Ken Harris, Sherwin Hughes, Tori Lowe, and Jason Fields on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth and streaming live on YouTube.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League Ball is sold out, but you can still join in the fun and support the work of the Urban League. Participate in a special online silent auction of great prizes and experiences. Auction items include a night at Milwaukee St. Kate Hotel, an autographed Packers football, baseball, hockey, and soccer tickets, and a special evening at Lake Park Bistro. Go to the Urban League's website and click on the black and white ball tab. Visit tmul.org. Let the bidding begin.
Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated is celebrating 35 years of serving all income and medically underserved populations of Milwaukee's metropolitan area. MHSI is a one-stop shop that provides medical, radiology, dental, pediatric, behavioral health, pharmacies with affordable medications, and more. Also, MHSI's new family medicine residency program, located at the Isaac Cobbs Heritage Health Center, has brought 28 family doctors to our area, which is significantly impacted by healthcare workforce shortages. Become a new patient today. To schedule an appointment, call 414-372-8080. Your health is their business.
I'm attorney David Gruber. We've helped injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust our hometown team to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm not hearing policy. I'm not hearing taxes. I'm not hearing protecting Social Security and Medicare. I'm not hearing protecting the Affordable Care Act. I'm not hearing down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. It's bigger than that, ladies and gentlemen. I also don't buy that this election is about policy. I think people want to use that as an excuse to give Donald Trump a supposed leg up because we thought he was a very wealthy businessman. He can no longer practice real estate in New York where he was making the bulk of his money. So where's his money coming from now? What we know of his fortune, he owes E. Jean Carroll in a lawsuit that he lost. We don't know how much money this man has, so that whole thing about him being a businessman might be patently false. We haven't even seen his tax returns. People that are what we call policy wonks, they follow policy everywhere. So someone can't all of a sudden get interested in policy at the federal level because that's way too nebulous, it's way too complicated. And policy at the federal level involves foreign policy and a whole bunch of other things that make it very convoluted. Policy people follow policy at the Milwaukee level. Policy people follow policy at the state of Wisconsin level. Policy people follow policy in the region. And if they're not following policy on those levels of government, they're lying to you about following policy at the federal government level. That's not something that you engage in just at the very top of the ticket. Policy is a way of life for people that actually get involved and follow it. So I don't believe that. I think these issues are much larger than this. This man led a mob to try and overthrow the federal government. This man still will not publicly concede the last election that he lost. And if he loses this one, he's not going to concede this one either. They're already filing lawsuits on an election that hasn't even happened. Character is important. But I also think that there's something else that's at play, because I've been giving this a lot of thought. Because I've been asked everywhere I go, Sherwin, how come there's so many people supporting Trump? How come there's so many African Americans supporting Trump? Most of the time, I have no idea because I never really sat and wrestled with it. I think I get it. And it's not about policy. It's not even about immigration. I got a survey here, or a poll that the Pew Research Center did, who I believe are the most honest and accurate information gathering news organization on the planet. It's something like 60 or 61% of Trump supporters admit that they're not even concerned that illegal immigrants are taking their jobs. That's a lie. That's a cop-out. That's what they're saying. 61% of them say, no, we don't think that these illegals are taking our jobs. In fact, most of the Trump supporters say that illegals are taking jobs that Americans don't want and would never do anyway. So then what do you think it's about? Just like people will give a facade, a veneer, and they'll say, oh, it's about policy for me, Sherwin. No, it's not. Oh, no, Sherwin, we're against the illegals because they come over here and they take our jobs. No, it's not. You don't want the illegals coming over here because they're not white. That's why you don't want them to come. And I would rather folks just say that. Don't lie to me. I think Ice Cube said it a long time ago. You ain't got to lie to kick it. Just be honest. You don't want a bunch of people from the South America and the southern border and the Mexico and the Uruguay and Paraguay and Brazil, Argentina and Chile. You don't want them coming over here making delicious food and making everybody happy and playing wonderful mariachi music. It's very happy music. It just makes you groove. You know who else makes us groove? Hello, Bob. Hello.
Hello,
Sherwin.
Look, the woman said Harris, vice president, is an idiot. Wow. It's just like listening to Fox News, and I can only listen to that for 5 minutes, and I have to turn it off. 3 reasons, among a ton of reasons, why I feel the way I feel. I would not have the vote for a leader of the free world that makes fun of a person getting hit with a hammer. I would, the second point.
Talking about Paul Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's husband who was attacked by a deranged Trump supporter. That's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, and he made fun of it. Trump made... I could not vote for a man that actually said, swayed people to believe COVID-19 wasn't nothing, and then thousands died. And my last point, I could not believe that this man hung up the phone. He deserves that. When a man was getting hung, who happens to be the vice president, and he didn't care. A leader of the free world like that? And there's a ton of other things. But those 3 things, people forget certain things he's said and done. And my very, very last point. MAGA Republicans try so hard to make your kids grow up like Trump since you're backing him up. Don't you feel good? Trump is your idol. Make sure your kids. On that subject, that's about it, Sherwin. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Talk to you later, sir.
All right. Goodbye, Bob. I think it's something else. Something that Trump supporters are not open to disclosing and discussing about their support for him. I was watching a show. Alex Wagner. She does a evening show on MSNBC. And her show was on the road last night. And she was in Philadelphia. And she was at a bar or a restaurant, a live remote show. And she was engaging and talking to Philadelphia voters. Pennsylvania is a big battleground state. Pennsylvania could very well decide who the next president of the United States is. We call them a bellwether state, you see. And there was a group of African-American voters that she spoke to in a special segment of her show. Alex Wagner Tonight, I believe, is the name of the show. And it was a segment of African-American Trump supporters. And I was fascinated to hear what they had to say, because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something that I can't see because I'm so partisan and I'm so blind. Maybe there's something under the surface that has evaded my attention because I'm overexposed to information. And I read a lot and I try and consume as much information as I can to get the most informed perspective that I can. Now, my mind is already made up, but my mind was made up before this election. And I want to listen very intently and very closely to these African-American Trump supporters trying to figure out, because I know my people real good. And here's the thing with black folks. It doesn't even matter where we're from. If I go to a place where I'm unfamiliar, I'm still looking for the black faces because that's where I'm going to feel comfortable. It's like we know each other even if we don't know each other. Right, I go to some fancy meeting or some big corporate event or some gala. First thing I do is I'm scanning the room for chocolate faces, and I just want to be closer to them because I feel more comfortable, and I want to be closer to them in case something jumps off. You understand it? So I know my people. So when my people say things, I'd like to be able to instantaneously relate. When I listen to this relatively small group of African Americans that Alex Wagner was speaking to from Philadelphia, I didn't recognize my people. I didn't recognize a single thing they were saying. I could not make sense of their logic. I couldn't make sense of their political analytics. There used to be a point in time where I don't care where you went, if you found a group of black voters, you could understand one another. Now, there's going to be some nuance now. There's going to be some variation and some difference in how people feel about the issues and depending upon the jobs they have and the level of education that they have. But for the most part, we agree with one another because our experiences as black people are very, very similar. And how we interact with America, very, very similar. And how policy has helped us, allowed us to get jobs, allowed us to use public restrooms, allowed us to ride in the front of the bus, allowed us to go to the library, allowed us to buy a house, et cetera, et cetera. So we have all of those things in common. And that's real policy that has had an impact on our lives. But man, I did not recognize these people whatsoever, where they were getting their logic from. There was a black woman that said, she said that, black men, they love their mothers and they love their wives, but they aren't going to vote for Kamala Harris, and they shouldn't because she's a woman and she doesn't have the experience to run the country. This black woman also said that Kamala Harris will be afraid of world leaders. Kamala Harris is too scary to stand up to Vladimir Putin. And I couldn't believe, I thought it was staged. It was such an embarrassment for our people. I don't usually do this. I don't do it, but I did it. I'm doing a lot of things lately that I don't normally do. I think this election cycle is changing me, and I'm not sure if it's for the better. I got on Twitter, and I tweeted at Alex Wagner. I said, where you get these MFs from? Where did you find them? Is there a cohort or a collection of Negroes that live underneath the ground that have like a secret like cult of, I don't know where they came from. Like the stuff that they were saying, it sounded like it was written by Donald Trump himself. To answer the question, am I better off now than I was 4 years ago? First of all, that phrase is tired. That was a Ronald Reagan phrase when he was talking about the recession that we were in under Jimmy Carter. And people, for some reason, they keep using it. Let me be honest with you. With the expansion of the American economy outpacing every other major industrial country in the world, everybody is better off. For the most part, everyone is better off than they were 4 years ago. Everyone. 4 years ago, October 23rd, 2020, I was at home dealing with a fledgling YouTube channel trying to broadcast COVID information to people. Still reeling over George Floyd. Unvaccinated. COVID is killing people. I'm way better off now. That's not even a question you should ask me. I didn't know what the future of the world was going to look like. We had a presidential election that was looming. Donald Trump was running for re-election. Joe Biden apparently wouldn't leave the basement. Way better off. All of us are. And let's clear up this misconception. COVID didn't kill thousands of people. COVID killed 1.1 million people. We didn't even have vaccines yet. Vaccines weren't available. The first round of vaccines weren't even available for medical professionals until December. We are way better off now. I can go outside with a bareback face. I can bareback the world with my face. I don't have to wear a mask. I used to have to wear a mask everywhere. And you wear a mask, and if you got glasses on, it fog up your glasses. So I go to the grocery store with the mask on because you got to wear the mask. You got to stand 6 feet apart from everybody. And I got a mask on, and my glasses would get fogged up. So now I'm walking around the grocery store trying to stay 6 feet apart from everybody, but I can't see because my glasses are fogged up. But I don't want to touch my glasses or touch my face because I might have touched something that had the COVID on it because I don't want to get COVID in my eyeball. So now I'm walking around the grocery store. Got a mask on. My glasses are fogged up. I can't see. I'm running into children with my grocery cart. I'm hurting children, and the children are crying. And then I start running because I don't want the mamas and the daddies to get mad at me for running over their children. So now I'm running through the grocery store. I can't see. Stuff is flying off the shelves. I'm way better off now than I was 4 years ago. And right now I'm going to take a break. I need to relax and get back to the question at hand. What is the most important issue to you in this election? What is motivating you to vote? Because maybe there's something that we're missing. Let us know at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. You can call, you can text, or you can join us on the YouTube. Go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to participate in the Peanut Gallery chat. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Hardworking family businesses, ambitious entrepreneurs, relationship builders, and job creators. Businesses like yours are the heart of Wisconsin, and Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation lives to help you realize your vision. Join them for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development. It will be held on December 11th and 12th at the Baird Center in Milwaukee and virtually on the 10th. Presented by WEDC, Marketplace Wisconsin is a place for minority, women, LGBTQ+, veteran-owned and small businesses to network, explore government contracting, and grow. You keep our state moving with construction, janitorial services, logistics, transportation, technology, medical services, and more. And Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation wants to help propel your success too. Let's look forward together. Register for Marketplace Wisconsin today at marketplacewisconsin.com. That's marketplacewisconsin.com.
So, you hear about this Project 2025? Yeah, man. And if the part I read is like the other 900 pages, we're in real trouble.
What's it say?
They want to make it harder to vote, cut Social Security and Medicare, and even go after small businesses.
They're coming after my business.
Afraid so.
Plan is to take money from businesses like yours to give rich folks more tax breaks.
No. So y'all gonna use your power and vote.
Of course.
And vote like our lives depend on it.
Paid for by NAACP.
Tune into the Tory Lowe Show this Thursday at 2 p.m. as he will be joined by Fred Johnson, the Vice President and Wisconsin State Manager for Erie Insurance. Tory and Fred will take a deep dive into what you should be looking for when shopping for a new insurance policy and the competitive rates Erie Insurance has to offer. They will also discuss potential career opportunities for you at Erie Insurance. So again, mark your calendars for Thursday, October 24th at 2 p.m. for Fred Johnson of Erie Insurance joining the Tory Lowe Show.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
polls can be a bit unnerving. I look for movement and momentum in the polls, right? So I try and see beneath the surface of just where the numbers are at any particular given time. There might have a little bit more meaning now because voting is really underway in most states, especially the battleground states in this country. So now that might mean a little bit more as to where voter sentiment is at the moment. But polls they detect momentum. So let's say Kamala Harris had a day like she had on Monday, where she was in Pennsylvania, she was in Michigan, and she was in Wisconsin, right? And then they'll poll those states or battleground states or toss-up states a few days after she does a blitz like that. And then I want to see, like, where were the polls prior to her visiting Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and then after she visited and worked with voters and talked with voters and encouraged people, have the polls move. Now, everything's going to be within the margin of error, but I want to be able to measure, do her campaign stops and campaign appearances move voter sentiment in those states? So I don't necessarily look at the number itself. I look at, is there motion, is there momentum? The other thing about polls, because I know a lot of y'all get anxiety when you see that Kamala Harris is down however many points in whichever state you may choose. It's like stepping on the scale. You might have a goal weight, not for vanity, but for health reasons. Let's say you want to lose a nice little 15. You know how it is in the springtime. Summertime is coming up. You want to see if your clothes still fit. You got a little thick over the winter. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Everybody get a little thick over the winter. In the wintertime, we eat good. We cuddle good. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Everybody get a little fluffy in the wintertime. Okay? A little bit. You want to lose a nice little 15 piece, and you know how to do it. Cut down on your carbohydrates. Cut down on the food that's real high in the fats. You know what I mean? Get you a little exercise. You start your little walking routine. Because, in the springtime, it's a little warmer. You know what to do to start your routine to lose the weight, because we all go through the cycle. In the wintertime, you get a little thick. And in the springtime, you're like, I put on a little thickness. Sometimes y'all keep the thickness. Sometimes the thickness is good, real good. Sometimes you're like, I don't need this extra thickness. So you get on your routine, you see. Because summer is coming, and you want to look good for the hot weather. Ladies, you want to wear your freakum shorts or your freakum dress. You got to lose a nice little 15, okay? And you get on the scale after you've started your eating differently, getting a little bit more exercise. You're going for walks. Maybe you're going to the gym. Maybe you're going and working out with Miss Shaq. Maybe you're going and working out with Al. I would caution you if you go and work out with Al, because Al will really work your ass out in a way that you've probably never been worked out before. So please proceed with caution. And you get on the scale. You're a couple of days in to your routine. You're eating healthy, getting a little exercise. Maybe you went to the gym. Maybe you went for a walk. Some days you do both, don't you? You go to the gym in the morning, and then you go for a little walk in the evening time, right? And then you weigh yourself. And you realize even after you started your routine of eating healthy and getting a little exercise, maybe you went for a walk, maybe you went to the gym, maybe you did both, you realize you gained 2 pounds. You are so incredibly disappointed, aren't you? But it could be just that day. Maybe you drank a lot of water. Maybe there's another reason why you gained the 2 pounds. But if you weigh yourself every day, some days the weight will be lower. Some days the weight will be higher. But you have a goal weight. Polls are just like weighing yourself every day. Some days you will be disappointed. But you know what the ultimate goal is. The only poll that really matters is the one on Election Day. And, ooh, did Milwaukee voters get a good start yesterday? I know that scared the hell out of some of these red Trump counties. They're scared of us. Let me be clear about this, too, because I think we might have an illusion about who we are and what this state of Wisconsin actually is. Wisconsin is a red state with 2 blue counties. That's it. If it wasn't for Dane County and Milwaukee County, this would be a red state. Now, you have a couple of other counties, outstate, that are blue leaning, but their populations are so low that it wouldn't change the state blue. This is a red Republican state, and it has been for a while. It's just when we show up and show out in Milwaukee and in Dane County, we are able to flip the state back to blue, which is a good thing. Let me tell you why it's a good thing. There's this concept called political agreement. I made it up. but it makes sense. Kamala Harris gets elected president of the United States. Hakeem Jeffries becomes the Speaker of the House. Chuck Schumer remains the majority leader in the U.S. Senate. You have a blue Congress. You have a blue White House. Wisconsin has a Democratic governor in Tony Evers. Milwaukee County has a Democratic county executive. His name is David Crowley. The city of Milwaukee has a Democratic mayor. His name is Cavalier Johnson. I need you to imagine this. Let's say we come up with an idea here on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes where we want more funding for youth programming. Let's say we come up with an idea for more job training and job placement for some of our unemployed folk in this city. Let's say we come up with an idea that provides more resources for technical training so that people, when they return to school, they can learn how to code, they can do all of the things they need to get caught up in this changing economy. Let's say we come up with that idea. And then we make it known to the county executive. Hey, Mr. County Executive, we came up with an idea. It's going to cost some money. It's going to be some funding, but we think this will serve our community well. What if we come up with an idea where we build more houses, new houses, and help first-time home buyers become homeowners in the city of Milwaukee? Let's say we collectively on this radio show come up with that idea, and then we tell David Crowley, hey, David Crowley, County Executive, hey, Mayor Cavalier Johnson, we came up with an idea that we think will be beneficial. And then what do? They make a phone call to the governor. Hey, Governor, Sherwin and them came up with an idea that they believe would be beneficial for the city of Milwaukee. It might cut down on crime. It might increase employment. It might make communities safer. It might make people happier. It might give people more opportunities and hope for the future. And then Tony Evers makes the call. Hey, Kamala, hey, Sherwin and them. Yeah, the guy you met at the rally. Yeah, Sherwin and them came up with an idea. We're going to need about 19 or 20 million so we have the resources to implement the idea for more job training and placement so we can build more houses in Milwaukee and we can make communities safer. Kamala Harris will say, let me call Hakeem Jeffries and we can get a bill together. When you have a Democratic president, they are much more likely to work with a Democratic governor. When you have a Democratic governor, he is much more likely to work with and be on one accord with a Democratic county executive. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Now imagine if Donald Trump is president. We come up with the same idea. We need a little more money, more resources for job training and placement. We need more money for new houses that we want to see built. We want more resources for technical training and education so people can go and learn how to use computers. And then Tony Evers makes that call to Trump. Trump won't call him back. Trump will not even take the call. Trump won't care what we came up with in a blue Democratic city. The call from a blue Democratic governor will not get answered by Donald Trump. Kamala Harris will call Hakeem Jeffries and they'll put the bill together and we'll get our money. That is how it works. Ladies and gentlemen, that is politics. We need political agreement. Kamala Harris in the White House and Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House and Chuck Schumer as the leader in the Senate helps Milwaukee. With Donald Trump being president, your black ass gets nothing. In fact, we're going to take. We're going to take from you. We're going to take more things. We're going to reduce your resources. That is the difference. And so when I hear somebody from this city saying that they are voting for Trump, you are killing the funding of your own ideas. Now, if this was a Republican state, which it was, we used to have a Republican governor, right? And then Donald Trump was elected in 2016. Scott Walker was still the governor. Scott Walker said, hey, we want some jobs here. They said, okay, let's bring Foxconn over. Do you see what I mean? Even though Foxconn didn't work and they're actually building a Joe Biden-supported Microsoft facility where Foxconn was supposed to be. That's how it works. Scott Walker could call the Republican presidents, even though they failed miserably. And if you think Milwaukee can be better, and if you have ideas and you want more funding for programs that you know will work, that'll make our community safer and stronger and increase our employment numbers, then you want a Democratic president, a Democratic Speaker of the House, a Democratic Senate to work with our Democratic governor, county executive, and mayor. Trump, if he is president, won't even answer the call. So Trump, even if you vote for him, will still stick his middle finger up to you because he will not answer the call and give resources to help Milwaukee, let alone black Milwaukee. In fact, Trump will try and figure out a way how he can deport African Americans. I'm going to take a break, come back, we're going to talk to Carolyn on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth App, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, join us live for the Truth Summit on Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for a lively debate and insights that you can't afford to miss. We've got it covered on the pulse of Black Milwaukee. Get your tickets to the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure Black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including Black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help Black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best.
For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
In our community, you will find a Center for Food Security. You'll discover a Center for Behavioral Health Support, a proven Center for Home Care, a successful Center for Employment, a Center for Trauma Recovery, and more. We are Centers for Independence. Find out how you can support Centers for Independence's work and mission at cfihope.org/independence.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Eight 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Let's talk to Carolyn. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing, Sherwin?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind, Carolyn?
I was listening to what you were saying, and I agree totally about everything that you're preaching about. But see, here's the problem with us Black folks. First of all, we got to get back to the basics, and the basics was, in God we trust. And when we were trusting in God, we were a strong community, and I'm talking about the 60s. I'm a child of the 60s. When we were worshiping God, serving God, going to church, teaching our kids to be attitude and how to act when they're out in public. That was number one. It started at home. It's called home training. We have gotten away from that. You see our youth out here and stuff. They're out here all times of night and whatever. When the sun went down, you better not have your behind outside nowhere. And mama going to call you once, and that's going to be it. And we've gotten away from that. We don't train our children. So my thing is this. They don't understand anything that we're talking about for politics because they have no home training. And they're not going to school. And every time you turn around, some youth is getting shot out here after 12 midnight. What are you doing out there? You need to be at home reading or studying or talking to your siblings and trying to see how you're going to build your future. Because the programs that you talked about and stuff, we had those things. My auntie was a social worker, and those programs were out there, and she made sure that we partook of all of those programs. I come from a family of 15, and it's maybe about 3 of us that have degrees, but the rest of them have trade skills that they have been in since they were 18 years old. So they're making their good money. They own their own houses and things like that. Our young black folks and stuff, if they're going to be our leaders, I'm scared because I don't see nothing positive going on with them. And the things are out there if they want them. Even if the white people try to crush you, guess what? You still could come up on yours if you do what thus say the Lord. And that's the problem with black folks right now. And then another thing that people don't look at, you could be the president of the United States all you want. But if the Congress and the House of Representatives don't like you, you ain't going to get nothing done. You're going to be at a stalemate. That was Politics 101. Everybody seems to forget, and they want to blame everything on the president. It's not on the president. It's on those old folks that's sitting up there that need to retire. They don't need to be in there until they're 80 and 90 years old. No, you need to sit your butt down, retire at 60, 67, or whatever. If you don't want to retire from that, then go be a dog walker, go to school, but get out of the politics and let some fresh blood come in there and sit down and use their brain.
Thank you, Carolyn. Appreciate the insight. She said she came from a family of 15, and we got to get back to God.
Special from Philly. She's been talking with black voters. She's been following Senator John Fetterman as he campaigns for Harris in Pennsylvania Republican strongholds. It's going to be really good. It's tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on MSNBC.
So that was the preview of Alex Wagner's conversation with black Trump voters. So I'm going to try and find a specific clip where you can hear and listen to them with no judgment. Do your best to try and relate to their logic and try and get a level of understanding of why these African-American Philadelphia voters are. It's not just that they favor Trump and like him and support him and are going to vote for him. There is a disdain for Kamala Harris, especially from the black women that are on this small group panel. The black men were kind of took a backseat to their criticisms of Kamala Harris, but the black women Trump supporters, and I think it was shocking to me because I have not heard from or seen many interviews with or seen many roundtable discussions with black women Kamala Harris haters. And it was a revelation. It really was. Maybe because it was the first time I was exposed to it, and I was trying to conceptualize like how these black women could be like spiteful and hateful, like tearing her down. And so here's another thing that we're not going to do because the white folks love doing this. Well, Kamala Harris locked up a bunch of black men. Can we go upstream a little bit and figure out who created the criminal justice system anyway, going back to the black codes of 1866? Y'all created it. Y'all have built the prisons. Y'all have controlled the legal system. But if a black woman presents evidence on someone that is guilty, we blame her for locking up black men, but we're going to excuse the generations and generations and centuries of black incarceration that was curated by white supremacist America after slavery? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Juicy Jammers, it's your boy Benjamin.
And your girl Noni Juice.
Election day is Tuesday, November 5th, and we want to encourage you to get registered to vote.
The great thing about Wisconsin is that you can register to vote on Election Day.
Yes, you heard my girl Noni Juice right. We have same-day voter registration on Election Day here in Wisconsin. So no excuses, Truth Nation, for not getting out to vote and making your voice be heard.
To find out more information about voting and what is on your ballot, visit myvote.wi.gov.
Vote on Tuesday, November 5th. Truth Nation. Milwaukee. Milwaukee Black Talk.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
It's Dr. Ken Harris. Join us for the Truth Summit on Saturday, October 26, 10 to 1. That's at the 3rd Street Market Starlight Room. You can register to join for free by going to 1017thetruth.com. But remember, space is running out. A series of panels will discuss the pulse of Milwaukee and really what's happening here. And we hope to see you and hear from you. Now, it won't be broadcast live. What does that mean? That means you'll have to be there. Brought to you by 1MKE with food from Shawnee's Exquisite Catering. Maybe we might even throw in a free cigar from Hughes. Go to 1017thetruth.com. Scroll down. When you get there, you'll see my face. You can register for free. But seats are going fast. Join us for the Truth Summit. That's on Saturday, October 26th from 10 to 1 at the 3rd Street Market Starlight Room. Go to 1017thetruth.com.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. So the first hour I was asking people, like, what are the issues that are motivating you to vote? And policy didn't come up once. Trade didn't come up. Foreign military involvement didn't come up. It's really about character and who do we want to be the best representation of us as a nation. The fact that Kamala Harris is a woman didn't come up. The fact that she's black didn't come up. The fact that she went to an HBCU did not come up. It's the character of the person that she is running against. Then I introduced a subject called political agreement. And if we here on the ground, those that live in Milwaukee and really see the potential of this city, because Milwaukee at one point in time was a beacon of light and hope for all sorts of people. People traveled here from all over to come and get factory jobs and work in the breweries and manufacturing plants, etc. A lot of folks would agree it was safer. It was safer because people were gainfully employed, because Milwaukee employers needed tremendous amounts of labor, and people were coming up here and they were working and they were happy. People got along better. Now the city was segregated, but considering what African Americans left in the Jim Crow South when they came to Milwaukee, this segregation was nothing. We could use public accommodations here. In fact, I think if given the choice, black people and white people want to live amongst one another. Now, what you can't do, though, is put the best schools and have the best hospitals and have the best doctors and have the best libraries and have the best parks and have the better paved streets where the white people live. You can't do that.
No, you can't do that, because then if we want the best, as we all deserve, because we all pay the same taxes as everybody else, you can't give us less and invest less in our neighborhoods and where we live just because we're black. So if you have the best accommodations, including and specifically the best kinds of educational options in the suburbs where the white people live, then we should be able to go out there too with no problem, you see. So segregation, I suppose, has its function because people feel comfortable around one another where you have cultural agreement. Just like I talked about the concept of political agreement. If we come up with an idea here and we share it with the mayor and we share it with the county executive, and the mayor and the county executive, they give a phone call to Tony Evers, said, hey, we came up with an idea, or the listeners of 1017 The Truth came up with an idea about how we can fund different opportunities and programs in the city of Milwaukee to make it a better city, make it a stronger city, make it a safer city, make it a city with higher levels of employment. Tony Evers will do what governors do and call the White House, or Tony Evers would call Hakeem Jeffries. Hey, Mr. Speaker, can you put together a bill package for us here in Wisconsin so that we can have the resources that we need to make Milwaukee a better city, a safer city, a city where more people are employed? And Hakeem Jeffries would say, absolutely. And I will get it past my conference. I will get it past the House. I will talk to Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer will get it out of the Senate. We'll get it to Kamala Harris's desk, and your money will be there delivered by Gwen Moore with a big old game show check in 10 days. That is how it works. Trump interrupts that. You think that he cares that this city is going to suffer in squalor? Do you really, in your heart of hearts, think that? Think local for a moment. I know we're all fixated on the federal government. We're fixated on Washington, D.C. Think about what you see every single day outside of your house. Think about all the improvements that you know could and should be made and all the money that's going to take. Now, remember, the Republicans here in the state legislature, they're blocking our money. But here's the thing about, and this was a constitutional amendment, and I'm glad y'all voted the right way on this. Because I need you to listen real good. This is an interesting civics lesson that most people around the world do not know, let alone people in the state of Wisconsin or in Milwaukee. They tried to pass a constitutional amendment that said the governor has to check with or get approval from the state legislature before the governor can spend money. We voted that down. Because you know that scenario that I just explained to you? That's how politics works. But because there is the likelihood that we get a Democratic Speaker of the House, that we have a Democratic-controlled Senate, and we get a Democratic president in Kamala Harris, working with her legislative partners, could actually send money to the state of Wisconsin based on our requests and our needs here in the city of Milwaukee. Because the Republican legislature fears that Tony Evers could make the request of Democrats in Washington and get us the resources that we need for a program that we came up with, the legislature said, no, we want to be able to control that money. And I'm glad y'all voted that referendum down, because in that scenario that I just explained, we all come up with an idea here on 1017 The Truth, specifically on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, how we can get more people employed and we can build more houses and make Milwaukee a better city and a safer city. And then we communicate that to the mayor of Milwaukee and communicate that to the county executive of Milwaukee. And then both the mayor and the county executive say, hey, the people that listen to 1017 The Truth came up with a really brilliant set of policy ideas, but we're going to need some funding for it. And then Democratic Governor Tony Evers calls either Hakeem Jeffries, or maybe he calls Kamala Harris, maybe he puts them both on three-way. And Governor Tony Evers, the Democratic governor in a Democratic blue state, where the 10 electoral votes here help Kamala Harris become president. So Kamala Harris will be thankful and she's going to owe us. And Tony Evers said, hey, they came up with an idea and we need some funding for it. Kamala Harris said, Hakeem, you on the phone? You hear that? You hear what Governor Evers needs? Because they came up with some ideas that can make Milwaukee a better city and a stronger city and a safer city. And Hakeem Jeffries says, yep, I'll pass it. I'll talk to Chuck Schumer. I'm going to go to lunch with him. I'm going to make sure that he's on board. He'll get it out of the Senate and we'll get it to you, Madam President, in a couple of days. And then Madam President says, Tony Evers, don't even worry about it. Those ideas that those black Milwaukeeans came up with, we're going to get you the money. And then Tony Evers gets the money, and Tony Evers gives it to the county executive and to the mayor. And next thing you know, we have the programs that we've asked for. That is how government works. But Republicans get in the way. They don't want us to get that money. That's why they tried with a constitutional amendment, because right now the governor has the power to ask for that money from the federal government and deliver it to Milwaukee. During COVID, when we had all the ARPA dollars, Tony Evers was giving money away to black businesses. In fact, he gave the Black Chamber like $5 million, essentially for nothing, because they said they were going to create 200 or 2,000 or 3,000 black jobs. I'm not lying. And the CEO of the Black Chamber posed on Facebook with a big-ass check, a $5 million check. The Republicans want to interrupt that. So this is why voting for Kamala Harris does more for your community than you think. We just have to utilize that strategy because, ladies and gentlemen, what I just explained to you, that's the game. If you have a line of Democrats that start with your mayor and goes all the way to the White House, they have open communication. Now, if Donald Trump is president, none of that happens. We can still come up with the idea. We can still communicate the idea to the mayor and to the county executive and to the governor. And the governor be like, hey, don't get your hopes up, but I'm going to make this call to President Trump to see if he is going to send us the money so we can fund these ideas to make Milwaukee a better city, a stronger city, a safer city, a city where more black men are employed, a city where we're building more houses, a city where we can invest into our job training and placement. Trump wouldn't take the call. So voting for him takes away from us. All right, I found this. I need y'all to hear this. I need you to listen to these. So these are African-American Trump supporters in Philadelphia, very much a battleground state, and they're giving you their specific reasons as to why they are not just supporting Donald Trump, but why they do not like nor support Kamala Harris.
What are your feelings, and let me start with the women here, about Kamala Harris?
She's a woman of color. I'm not putting her down because of that, and I'm not putting her down because she's a woman. I'm not a feminist, so I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I don't think that she has the personality. I don't think that she has what it takes to go up against Putin and go up against these other presidents that are built for this. I don't want to be scared because my president is scared. I want my president to feel secure and manly and about it.
We brought up gender, right? Like, do you think it matters that she's a woman and people aren't comfortable having a woman in a top leadership role?
No, I don't think that, because most men, they love their mothers. They love their wives. So as a woman, most men, they respect the woman. But she just don't have the qualification or the education to really run America because she don't have the experience. She don't understand our struggles. And for me to believe you for another 4 years, you're crazy.
Right.
Like, you're crazy. You're saying the same thing that you said 4 years ago.
So the fact that she's the vice president
That's
to
just
you
the
is
bottom line.
You're like, you've been here, you've had a chance.
Yes. Well, for me, the very first time I ever heard the name Kamala Harris, it was in association to locking up parents for truancy. That was the first time I ever heard of her name. And I really didn't understand how this person claims to be a black woman, but yet she's locking up black women and black men and separating families.
This is a thing that is, Trump talks about this a lot. He says, you know, Kamala Harris became black when it was convenient.
Right.
Yep. Can you talk to me about, do you agree with him on that? Do you feel like she's wearing her blackness?
Absolutely. She's sworn into when she sworn to the Senate, it was as the first Indian American.
Thank you.
Which is, it's fine. We don't care.
We all know she's not black. Let's understand that. We are all clear of that. But my point of view, and like I told you earlier, she's already been there. She's in office right now.
Now, to be clear, the voters I spoke with here are not representative of black voters in Philadelphia on whole.
That was a revelation to me. And so that was just a part of the conversation that those African-American women had. Now, keep in mind, there were black men in that room, and they weren't saying nothing because they let the black women give their opinions on bashing Kamala Harris. The part where they said Kamala was the first East Indian woman sworn into the U.S. Senate. So not only is that history making for her, that is giving respect to her mother, because we've already had black senators. She wasn't making history on that. She wasn't even making history as the first black woman U.S. senator. Carol Moseley Braun was that. So allow Kamala Harris to make history and also give respect to her mama. who she took care of when her mama was dying from cancer. And so I don't know nothing about these Philadelphia Negroes. I ain't not never one time been to Philly, and I know that's not representative of the good folks from Philadelphia. And I think that they were from West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where they spent most of their days. But that was the first time I was exposed to African-American women that were tearing down Kamala Harris. Now, look, Philadelphia, y'all going to do what you're going to do. I trust the people in Pennsylvania. I trust the people in Philadelphia to make the right decision. But what we need here in Wisconsin, because Milwaukee needs a lot of fixing, and the resources that we have that are very limited by our Republican-controlled state legislature are not allowing us, hear me out now, to realize our full potential as a city. Realizing our full potential as a city is when we see young black children in the city of Milwaukee that are underfunded and undereducated. We have to now see these children as the future workforce of the city of Milwaukee. And I don't know if our leaders here writ large see black youth as the future workforce of the city of Milwaukee. I think that we see the future workforce of the city of Milwaukee as people that migrate here from California or from New York or from D.C. or from Atlanta, or we see the future workforce of the city of Milwaukee, people from Ozaukee County and Washington County and Waukesha County. We need to see the people that live here right now as the future workforce of this town, including black children. We need to see them. And so if we need more resources to train them, if we need to invest in education maybe differently, because the way we're investing in education right now, it sucks. And MPS, I hate to tell y'all this, but y'all are getting busted up. As soon as the legislature gets back in session, there's going to be Democratic support for it because y'all have had referendum after referendum. You had the COVID money, you got the ARPA money, then you got another referendum after referendum, and we are seeing no measurable output. And let me just not be hard and just blame the district, right? There's some parental stuff that needs to go on too. We know that. But there's other districts like Baltimore, the D.C. Metro School District, worse than MPS. We're doing worse. Worse outcomes than us, right? But they put together a formula to where now they have their children on or above grade level, and they were doing worse than MPS. So MPS is not executing a formula that has worked in other districts that's going through the exact same thing that we're going through right now. And so it's time for the district to you got to change direction because we've given y'all chance after chance. You asked us for more money, we gave it. You wanted more money, another referendum, $252 million. I was against that, but guess what? The voters decided you got it. And what do we have? Y'all are not doing your audits. You're not sending in your reports. Failing to meet deadlines. Your comptroller, who knows where all the money is being hidden, they quit. Then they hire Asawa, who was the city of Milwaukee comptroller, who hid and lied to us about the financial trouble the city of Milwaukee was in. She then leaves. She leaves the city of Milwaukee comptroller position. Then we find out, we got to raise your sales taxes. That woman knew that our sales taxes were supposed to go up in 2020, and she ain't saying nothing. She knows how to hide money. Asawa does. So she didn't want to run for a second term of city of Milwaukee comptroller because it would have been found out that she was just basically hiding the money. Or she wasn't being forthright. And I say that because when she was running for comptroller in 2020, she said, if I win, I'm going to be transparent. She wasn't transparent by not naying nothing. So she leaves city of Milwaukee comptroller position, which she won the citywide election. And then all of a sudden, the MPS comptroller resigns. And then they bring Acha over, which means they are hiding money and they are not being transparent. I said all that to say this. It's not much the district can do. And if you work for MPS, get ready, buckle up. There's already a recall sentiment to get rid of certain school board members. Just because the recall wasn't successful doesn't mean that there's not sentiment brewing under the surface to totally revamp MPS. Problem is the Republicans are going to come up with their version of a revamped MPS, which may not be the best one for our kids. Because remember, we got to see the black children that go to MPS right now as Milwaukee's future workforce. The Republicans are going to have a whole different idea. And so what is likely to happen, and to the extent I can be helpful, please count me in, a number of education professionals that have the academic interests of black children in mind need to get together and put together their own plan with our Milwaukee legislators on what a revamped MPS is going to look like. Otherwise, the Republicans are going to control the entire narrative. So we have a little time. The state legislature that's going to be making these decisions on MPS does not get back into session until January. So we got time. Don't let this election distract you, because we got this election going on, but we still got other governing and policy making to do. So I'm going to take a break. Going to come back. Going to talk to Brian, Izzy, and Al. So you guys hang on. I'm going to take a break. We'll come right back to you. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Benjamin.
And your girl Noni Juice.
And we'll be coming at you live from Steinhoffel's in Oak Creek this Friday. Jamming on the couch at Steinhoffel's live from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m.
So come on down and jam on the couch with us. And get something juicy from Steinhoffel's to upgrade all your home furniture needs. We've got juicy topics, and Steinhoffel's has some great deals waiting for you.
Steinhoffel's Oak Creek. Don't miss it.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe that every child deserves a chance to reach their full potential. Unfortunately, in Milwaukee, this is not always the case. Research shows the educational opportunity gap between white and black students is twice the national average. This is why Milwaukee College Prep is committed to eliminating this gap. In fact, MCP scholars tested advanced or proficient at a rate nearly 8 times higher than the other predominantly black public schools in Milwaukee. Provide your student with the best educational opportunity by visiting MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com. College bound, character strong.
What's up, Troop Nation? It's your girl, Noni Juice, here for my friends at Steinhoffel's. And guess what? Steinhoffel's has everything you need to get your home ready for the holidays. Elegant dining sets, perfect for hosting family dinners, cozy bedrooms to relax and recharge after celebrations, and fireplaces to warm those cold winter nights. Plus, with Steinhoffel's 18-month financing, getting your home ready for the holidays has never been easier. Steinhoffel's, helping you make the holidays special. Shop in-store or online at Steinhoffel's.com.
We're here.
You brought me to a cornfield to see a scarecrow?
Well, the mortgage lender said the money for our home is in scarecrow.
I think they said escrow.
Oh.
There's a lot to learn when buying your first home. That's why UW Credit Union offers home loans with local expertise and a lowest closing cost commitment to make the journey easy. UW Credit Union. Apply today. Equal housing lender.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
I do want to play for you guys the rest of that audio from those African-American women Trump supporters, because it's fascinating. It is. It's the first time I was exposed to black women that fundamentally cannot stand, do not like, and do not agree with Kamala Harris. But in the meantime, let's talk to Izzy. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
All right, I was just on Fond du Lac and North. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on Fond du Lac and North?
I heard it was like a standoff over there, but that's not why I called. At the old Milwaukee Mall. It's like the fourth one this year in Milwaukee. But anyways, I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Hello?
I'm here.
Now, like, people always talk about the lesser of 2 evils when it comes down to this election and everything, and Kamala was just in Milwaukee, in the month, and they had that protest about, the issues going on in the Middle East right now, and I'm kind of concerned with, agendas and, outcomes or, solutions to these problems, I find it strange that like nobody's talking about like reallocating these funds just to stimulate the economy or these communities that help out with a lot of things.
Okay.
If you know what I'm saying.
I
here.
do.
And like how much do you know about her husband?
That she's married to him.
That's about it. Like who is he? Like
I don't care who he
do?
is. He's not going to be president of the United States. He's not going to make no policy. He's not going to sign no laws. He's not going to veto anything. I don't care who he is. If she's happy and that makes her a better president, so be it. I ain't got nothing to do with him. Neither do we. We shouldn't be caring who somebody married to. In fact, I wouldn't care if she was single. I wouldn't care if she was a lesbian. We have bigger fish to fry here in the city of Milwaukee. This city is drowning.
And I was also going to stress that too. After like this whole thing with these Mongolites and these radical Republicans and everything, do people understand like when she wins, what kind of show she's going to be walking into? Like how much of a mess and problem that's going to be in the show.
Let's deal with that when she wins. Let's not worry about the other side. They're going to be licking their wounds because they lost. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure their lives out. In the meantime, we got policy to make. We ain't got time to waste to think about other people. We ain't got time to think about her husband.
So what have we learned from Obama then?
That we want another black president.
Without so much resistance from Congress and the Senate, right?
Well, we also need a Democratic Congress, which is also part of the plan. We've got swing districts right here in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, Milwaukee voters not able to vote on those congressional districts that could give Hakeem Jeffries a speakership, but there's people that's on the case.
So we think we're in a safe space?
No, but we got 2 weeks to figure it out. 13 days, actually. Because you vote, Izzy? Are you going to vote?
Yeah, I voted yesterday. I took a bag of popcorn. It was a long line.
All right, look at here now.
What a time.
Look, tell everybody you know. It sounds like you on the bus. You need to stand up and tell everybody on the bus they need to vote. In fact, tell the bus driver to go over to Midtown right now, take everybody to vote now.
I think everybody already did vote.
All right. Well, thank you, Izzy. I appreciate your commentary and your questions.
All right, thank you.
All right, Izzy. Okay, then let's talk to Brian. You're on 101.7 The Truth.
How you doing? As far as MPS is concerned, I think what we have is a problem. The pensioners. The pensioners, the people that are retired, are pretty much taking all the city money for the most part. I mean, they've earned the right to have that money. But when they start talking about referendums to get millions of dollars for this, and they have shortfalls, a lot of that money is going to the pensioners.
That's correct.
That are retired and living too long.
That's right.
We have a problem with the old folks living too long, and the young folks not being motivated to stay in school and not being motivated to produce, quality children for the most part. We don't have – somebody needs to do an audit on the amount of children amount of black children that actually go to school on a daily basis. A lot of the black kids don't even go to class. You drive through the city of Milwaukee all day, and it's a school day, and you see kids out on the street. Somebody needs to do something about that.
Well, we got rid of our truancy and abatement program. We used to have a program called TABS that was run by the Sheriff's Department, where they would round up children that were truant. They would take them to the Boys and Girls Club until their parents would come get them. But the funding ran out, or there wasn't enough interest in the program, so we took that away, unfortunately.
Yeah, Milwaukee is basically is going to be lost because we're not going to have any leaders. You're not going to have anybody to take care of this place once the old folks do die out. We're not investing. Well, you can't invest in youth that aren't even there.
We have a whole,
so that needs to be
Brian, we have an entire crop of young leaders that are coming up that are ready to take the mantle. In fact, I had one on my show yesterday for an hour. Her name is Senator Dora Drake. Brian, out of curiosity, where do you live?
Well, I'm in Menominee Falls.
Goodbye, Brian. Worry about Menominee Falls. Let's talk to Robert. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Hughes. Thanks for taking my call. I went and cast my ballot yesterday, and while I know the voting process, what dawned on me yesterday is that most people may not realize that the early voting process is different than what your ballot goes through on election day, so to speak.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
And so now with more people voting early, the system isn't designed for that. So the lines are going to be a little bit longer, and you have to get the witness signature and all that. So don't be discouraged. And I don't really know if people are aware that the processes are different.
I appreciate your comment. I think a number of people, because of the pandemic, a lot of folks have a lot more experience with voting absentee and the witness signature and all of the things. So even if someone is unfamiliar with how this process works, because there's probably a lot of new registrants and people that are voting for the first time, all of that is thoroughly explained to the voter at the polling location. But lines are going to be long because interest is high. And I just found out yesterday the city of Milwaukee needs to hire 30 new poll workers to deal with the high number of people that want to vote early. So I need to make that clarion call out to folks who need to hire more people. And that could cut down on the lines as well if they get more staff.
Right. And you get that information once you get to the polling place. But prior to getting there, you more than likely don't expect the line that you see. And I voted where I live, and there were people who were surprised that there was a line.
That line is not discouraging most people because we know what's at stake.
Well, yes, and that's why I was there. So I appreciate you taking my call.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate your call.
Okay.
All right. Nobody's going to get discouraged. Y'all know what's on the line here. Let's talk to Al. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing good. First of all, I want to say Harris didn't separate black families. The decisions of the man and the woman did, not Harris. People keep saying she's not black. We are all mixed with something. I know it's a news flash for some of them people out there who say she's not black. We're all mixed with something. So, hey, we don't got gas agencies, but we're all mixed with something. So we got to get over that. And listening to some of them women talk, what they really wanted to say is that they want a white man to run it. See, people respect if you come out and say, well, she's not educated enough. No, just come out and say, I want a white man to run it, because some black people only feel good if white people are in power. Nothing against you whites. I love you, too. Also, I wanted to say, we got to get rid of some of the black politicians here in Milwaukee if we need to see growth, okay? Some of these black politicians are not a fan of the darks, okay? They only are the fans of places of like downtown. And then look at this, and I'm just going to move fast. Ashanti Hamilton didn't even endorse Cavalier, okay? All right, and then keep in mind, Ashanti Hamilton only call people back if they're white. If they're black, you get voicemail. Cavalier Johnson, he moves around the inner city, and everything he touch always in Dookie. And when he gets done, he pretty much says, F you, BITC, you add the other letter. When you look at the school board needs to be revamped from bottom up so we can get these kids going to school. The parents need to be involved, but the problem is some of these 2,000 babies are more worse than the crack and cocaine babies that came from the New Jack City era. And I think having them crack and cocaine babies from the 90s produce some of these kids right now. So they're not really doing their part. So maybe some of them need to go to jail too. But we have to redo the whole system, starting with some of us. We got to get some of these aldermen, these politicians, because some of these aldermen politicians are not for us. That's why they have a very Class D delivery when it comes to the inner city. But then when it comes to other places, it's, the glamour, the motivation, the dedication. I'm going to end it like this. No outside company should be dealing with anything that was created and started in Milwaukee with a housing authority. That's for you, Cavalier, okay? Nobody in Florida should be handling anything in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's like me telling a bishop who don't know how to run my household, come clean and run my household. And that's where we have the disconnection, because we're all bright, smart, and intelligent, but we got some nigglets who are not for the darks. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Al. I should let you all know that Mayor Cavalier Johnson will be in studio with me next Monday. We also have interviews lined up with Charlie Sykes, who was a 25-year veteran of Milwaukee Talk Radio, who is now an MSNBC contributor. Charlie Sykes, as you all know, is very much a conservative Republican, but he has recently endorsed Kamala Harris, and he moderated that discussion, that town hall discussion between former Congresswoman Liz Cheney and Madam Vice President Kamala Harris on Monday that I attended. So Charlie Sykes on Monday did reach out to Michael Holtz, the former associate publisher and editor of the Milwaukee Community Journal and former panelist on Charlie Sykes's Sunday morning talk show many years ago called Sunday Insight. So I'm trying to recreate Sunday Insight with Charlie and Michael Holt, and I got a call out to another person that was on the Sunday Inside panel as well. They're all going to be joining me on Monday. So Monday is going to be a hot show, and ain't no telling. We might get Kamala. We might get Barack. We might get Michelle. We might get all of them. I might get William Jefferson Clinton. I might get Hillary Clinton. I might get every damn body there is to get. Right now, I'm going to take a break. Got a bunch of calls holding. So you guys chill out, take my little break. Going to come right back to you. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Hardworking family businesses, ambitious entrepreneurs, relationship builders, and job creators. Businesses like yours are the heart of Wisconsin, and Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation lives to help you realize your vision. Join them for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development. It will be held on December 11th and 12th at the Baird Center in Milwaukee and virtually on the 10th. Presented by WEDC, Marketplace Wisconsin is a place for minority, women, LGBTQ+, veteran-owned and small businesses to network, explore government contracting, and grow. You keep our state moving with construction, janitorial services, logistics, transportation, technology, medical services, and more. And Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation wants to help propel your success too. Let's look forward together. Register for Marketplace Wisconsin today at marketplacewisconsin.com. That's marketplacewisconsin.com.
I'm done voting for Democrats this year. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Senator Baldwin's policies have crushed Black Americans. We are paying more for food, clothes, and everyday items than ever. It's harder than ever to find affordable housing. Democrats say defund the police. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Who pays the price when there aren't enough cops on the street? Whose neighborhood gets violent? We see that violence and pay that price, not people in the suburbs. It's folks like us trying to go to work, take care of our kids, live our lives, wondering if something's going to happen on our block. How about jobs? Democrats let 12 million illegal aliens come here the last 4 years. Who are they taking jobs from? Not people in the suburbs. They take those jobs from us. I'm done voting for Democrats this year.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Welcome back. Let's talk to Michael. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been listening to the show, and I think you're quite good at what you do.
Thank you.
I'm from Georgia, and I'm up there doing a job, but I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at St. Luke's Hospital. And I don't agree with most of what you say because I'm a realist. I believe people can do whatever they want to do with their life so they work hard enough. And And I don't think that what you say is helping the people of Milwaukee. But obviously, you're on this show, so you must be doing something right. But I sure wish you'd show both sides of the story instead of just one side of the story, sir.
No, we don't live in those kinds of times. So that's that. The second thing is, when do you go back to Georgia? Just curious.
Well, I still own property here in Wisconsin, and always will, because it's family property, and the property taxes here are insane, which is, I think, the reason why most of the people here that have anything going for them eventually leave, even though this is one of the most beautiful states there is. But I probably won't be going back in about a week, sir.
Okay, just curious as to where you're going to vote.
Well, no, I vote every year, and I don't always vote for one party or the other. I vote for the person, not for the party. And that's what I wish everybody would do. I wish they would feel what is most important to them, and not only them, but their children. I have 6 children and dozens of grandchildren, and I'm fearful for what's happening with our society.
Michael, when you say, and I agree with you on that, they should, because a lot of folks don't really follow, politics and policy. It can be very overwhelming. Voting for the person, I would agree, is a very smart thing to do. Character is very much on the ballot, and I'm assuming that you probably have women in your family, daughters, a wife, etc. If you had a daughter, would you feel comfortable leaving your daughter in a room by herself with Donald Trump?
Donald Trump's an asshole. No question about it. I can't say it any stronger.
Are you voting
but when
for
Donald
him?
Trump was president of the United States,
would you leave your daughter? We're talking about character now. We're also talking about one of his appointed military generals said that he was praising Hitler and also called him a fascist. Would you leave your daughter with Donald Trump in a room for an hour? Versus, what do you think would happen if you left your daughter in the room with Kamala Harris for an hour? If you have an answer on that, then I think that your vote is made.
I can give you an answer on that, sir.
Okay.
I would feel comfortable leaving my child with either one of the two of them. Nobody gets to that position in life without having character and intelligence. Whether you agree with Donald Trump or you agree with Kamala Harris, they're both good individuals. They just have different policies. Donald Trump is an asshole, though, and I wouldn't call Kamala Harris that because I don't know her that well. And Donald Trump, we know everything about him because he has been dissected by the media for the past 8 years to the point of where if he had a wart on his foot, I think we'd know about it.
What about January 6th? Does that bother you at all? He didn't concede the last election, which he lost.
Here's the thing about January 6th, and I know you're asking me leading questions, which is fine. I respect you for that. That's who you are, and that's your job, and that's your belief. I think January 6th was a mistake. Do I think Donald Trump created January 6th? I don't. I think society is falling apart. And the problem we have is nobody has respect for each other anymore. Nobody believes in I shouldn't say nobody because that's too strong a statement. Far too many in this country don't have faith anymore. And I'm not talking about just religious faith. I'm talking about faith in themselves, society. We don't have faith in the policemen anymore, not because of the stuff we see on television, but we've tied their hands. The politicians I don't believe care about any of us, either party. They care about themselves. And if they would start caring more about the people than their parties, this could be an amazing country.
We'll leave it there, Michael. I appreciate your call. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you, sir. And you know what? We're listening to you all here. I like you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Good luck, man.
All right. It appears that the truth with Sherwin Hughes has done crossed over. It appears we've crossed over to the other side, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk to, we can get Jamel in. We got to do Millicent. Nope, Millicent just hung up. Jamel, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you, young man?
How you doing, Sherwin?
Good. I'm still determined to get you a show here. Before you get into what you're saying, I'm determined to get you either a show or a fill-in, so just think about it. Now go ahead with your comments.
Shoot me a text or something. I got some free time coming up. Let's work it out.
All right. Thank you.
I got time. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on a few things that you've been talking about so far this morning. What you're saying about like the connection between the different levels of government having democratic elected in those positions does make that pathway to progress easier. What I will push back on is, where have we seen evidence of the local electeds that we have here in Milwaukee, especially after seeing how they trotted out all the black folks at their event the other night to show the world how black Milwaukee politics are. It's hard to find evidence that the officials that we have elected here in our local community have the wherewithal to even get us there with those types of ideas. We have seen numerous examples of different organizations in our community trying to work with this mayor, trying to work with the county executive on things that the community is actually asking for. And all we keep hearing from these people is, we know we got work to do. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you want. Well, all they're giving us is more police. Literally, that's when we turn around and we figure out the things that they're doing. Their answer to most of our societal ills has been police. Cavalier Johnson signing the deal for Act 12. All that does for Milwaukee is raise our taxes to provide more police and firefighters. They can't do anything else with that increase in our taxes but provide more police and firefighters.
Jamel, we didn't have a choice. We got to put equal or more weight and blame on the Republican legislature. Milwaukee was going bankrupt, and we were going to have to lay off police officers, close city departments, and basically create a city hall that was a shell of itself, so we wouldn't even have the departments that provide services to the community. So we literally had no choice because of our ballooning pension obligations. The Republicans said, we will only give you this money, and it's a small increase in shared revenue, but here's what you have to do, otherwise your city is going to go bankrupt. We couldn't risk that. So if we want to go back, we got to blame Tom Barrett, because we saw this coming 20 years ago. So we can't put that on Cavalier Johnson, because we didn't have a choice. We either had to raise the sales taxes or we would have had to shut down city government, which would have been more of a disaster, including laying off police. We already got a response time issue. Imagine if, and I just heard yesterday, there was a shooting and somebody else got shot and somebody got hit by a car. Cops came an hour and 15 minutes later. Imagine if we had 900 less police in the city. So our back was against the wall. This was the Republicans that did this.
I think another thing that created that type of issue for city government is poor leadership in city government. We have a lot of faces that have been in these positions as alders, as county supervisors and things of that nature that have been in these positions now for 8, 10, 12, 15 years. What has that gotten us? What has that gotten us?
We got to be clear here. Republicans are there for one reason only, to make sure that the things that we require and want and need never happen. So what we can't do is we can't look at city leaders and think that they operate they can come up with the idea, they can implement the plan, they have the money. Republicans are not giving us what we need. So maybe there is some blame on poor leadership.
I don't disagree with that framing of the Republicans at all. I know they mean people in general no good. They're not going to do anything for people. We have over 60 years of history that proves that in America as a whole. Another thing I wanted to touch on was like the MPS thing, because last night there was an important meeting at MPS where one of the first item was the discussion around school resource officers, which was spelled out through Act 10, and that's how we were able to get the information showing that Cavalier, basically part of that deal is to include these officers into MPS. A big problem that a lot of people have with this particular situation is him signing onto Act 12 and creating that kind of that relationship has now circumvented the will of the people to a duly elected board, a school board, regardless of how corrupt and incapable they are. The community pushed the police out of the schools through due process, and now that has been circumvented by the Republicans, and now Cavalier has agreed and is totally okay with that, because Cavalier showed us when he launched his campaign to become mayor, the first picture you saw was him with the police chief. I knew then what we were going to get from Cavalier Johnson. More police, more police, more police. We cannot police ourselves out of these issues. Last night, what happened at the MPS meeting, you had an orchestrated, scripted group of people coming to challenge the board on what's happening with these SRO officers that's being led and fed information by the teachers union who controls the school board. Another group of people that was organized and brought in by that same union then to another item down the agenda was asking for black and brown children of Carmen Charter School to be over-policed like MPS students
Jamel,
are.
can I put you on hold for a second? Because I absolutely got to take a break. I want to hear the rest of what you have to say.
Absolutely.
Hang on, don't go nowhere. Hold on. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, early voting has begun right here in Milwaukee. From now until Sunday, November 3rd, Milwaukee will have numerous polling locations across the city where you can cast your ballot for this important 2024 election. I want you to know that our vote matters, that your vote matters, and this is your chance to shape our community's future for the better. For more information on early voting, simply Google Early Voting Milwaukee. That is Googling Early Voting Milwaukee to find the nearest polling location near you. Get out and vote early, Milwaukee, from now until November 3rd. Milwaukee Black Talk.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What's up, Troop Nation? It's your girl, Noni Juice, here from my friends at Steinhafels. And guess what? Steinhafels has everything you need to get your home ready for the holidays. Elegant dining sets, perfect for hosting family dinners, cozy bedrooms to relax and recharge after celebrations, and fireplaces to warm those cold winter nights. Plus, with Steinhafels' 18-month financing, getting your home ready for the holidays has never been easier. Steinhafels, helping you make the holidays special. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. Let's talk to Jamel. See, this is why you need your own show, man. Because I can only give you a couple minutes at a time, and I got to interrupt you and take breaks and answer other calls. And we weren't ignoring your call when you called earlier, but like 5, 6, 7 people called at once. All right.
You know, I was just joking with the people in the chat. That's all. But no, I definitely appreciate the time. And like I said, just give me reach out to me and we'll figure it out over the next few days. But no, so the point I was making about like the board meeting last night is a clear example of how these leaders and these electeds, they literally put on these performances in our face. The mayor was invited to the board meeting last night. He didn't even send any staff from his office to sit there in his place. There were 2 alders that showed up last night, Burgellis and my alder, Charlotte Moore, who has been neck deep in the community since she's been elected. I give her a lot of credit for showing up the way she does for our community. But what we saw last night from agenda item 1, that was the SRO conversation, we had the president and the vice president of the teachers union cosplaying as parents and didn't identify themselves as union leadership to say that police are bad in schools, but then they go on to the next agenda item, and now they're union leadership, and now they're supporting their teachers who want to over-police black and brown children in Pulaski School that are assigned to Carmen. This is what we're dealing with, performative antics by people in positions of power. When we can get past the performance and actually get to work and do the things that the people in our community need to get to where we want them to go, we'll see change. They say we got work to do, but none of them want to do the work because it's going to be uncomfortable for them and a lot of their friends. They don't want to upset their friends. They don't want to disrupt the status quo because a lot of these people have political ambitions that are bigger than Milwaukee. They're using us as a stepping stone to get to where they want to go. Cavalier doesn't want to be the mayor of Milwaukee. Cavalier thinks he should be the governor of Wisconsin. He's not fully invested in Milwaukee as a whole.
Well, he's going to be in studio with me on Monday. I think you should call. You going to call in on Monday?
How about I swing by?
Oh, hold on now. Need to be breaking up no fights now. Hold on, man.
Well, but see, I know for a fact that he just popped in on Tori's show about a week and a half ago and danced on Tori. Tori asked him, and people can have their issues with Tori and his show and his listeners and all of that. That's what it is. But in that few minutes that Cavalier was in that studio, Tori hit him with a couple very clear questions that he should have been able to answer. He's been involved in Milwaukee politics long enough to answer the things that he was questioned on that day, and he did the political tap dance that most of these career politicians do to people when they get asked tough questions.
Jamel, let me say this. I think the people, and I got another phone call, and I got to take another break. I think the people that would be the kind of leaders that folks like yourself are looking for, they're out there. But how do we get them?
Oh, they are.
How do we get them to run for office? Because right now, the crop of elected officials
we got to build them. We got to build them.
These are the people that are willing to run for office. But I got to leave it there, Jamil. I got to leave it because I got to talk to James. You're on 1017 The Truth.
Hi, Sherwin. My name is James Brown, believe it or not. I'm a 70-year-old white man. And
well, congratulations on both of those.
Well, thank you. I really don't get involved in Milwaukee politics anymore, but I was born and bred in Milwaukee. My heart lives there. I live in Germantown now. And it's a crazy place to live, I'll tell you that. But Milwaukee really has to straighten itself out. MPS is way beyond me. I think it's a lot of good people want to make money real quick, but that's a whole nother topic. I'm sitting in the middle of Dretska Park right now, watching a white woman and a black man golf together. It's beautiful.
It sounds beautiful, James Brown. It does.
It really is.
I only got about
Beautiful
40 seconds left, James Brown.
All right. I've never called you before, but I have texted you. Sherwin, I love your show. Take care.
Thank you, James Brown. Make me want to jump back and kiss myself. It's a man's world, It's where are these people coming from? Where are they coming from? The world may never know. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, this is Truth Be Told's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes.
And we want to encourage you to get out and vote on Tuesday, November the 5th.
Your vote matters, and this is the election where you can make your mark.
If you have not registered to vote yet, that is quite okay because you can register to vote on Election Day in Wisconsin. Yes, same day voter registration.
Visit myvote.wi.gov to find your ballot and polling location. That is myvote.wi.gov.
Shape your future, Truth Nation, by getting out to vote on Tuesday, November the 5th.
Need a way to hype up your day?
This is Southside Serious.
Southside, this is 1017 The Truth, the URR Gruber 5K giveaway.
Oh, man, I can't believe it, man. You guys are so great, man. You're doing so much for the community. I really, really appreciate you guys.
What would you do with $5,000?
I got two boys. I got an 18-year-old. I got a 15-year-old, and, man, I'm going to give it to them.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Vice President Kamala Harris.
Talk with your listeners to remind them of their power and the importance of voting. And the folks in Milwaukee turned out for me and Joe Biden in 2020. You showed what was possible.
U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, are you a racist?
Absolutely not.
Is Donald Trump a racist?
Absolutely not. No.
And civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump.
Thank you all for speaking truth to power. That's the most important thing, because right now there are those in our community who would rather we just be quiet.
Right.
We have to disturb the peace now more than ever.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Let's talk to... Oh, this is going to be a doozy. Here we go. White Widow. Where'd that name come from? Where did that name come from? White Widow. What's your real name? Any name like Melanie or something?
Are you talking to me? Yeah, are you talking to me?
Who else am I talking to?
I don't know. I thought you were talking to somebody else. Okay, I just want to comment on the fact that, you know, in my many journeys, I take people physically to the Marcia Cogs building on 12th Street, and I find that some of them are already under Medicare, Social Security, vulnerable, SSI. And throughout the year, you know, we get people hooked up with the organization, and they get their benefits.
White Widow, do you have anything that's on the topic of what I'm discussing, or do you just want to just talk about stuff in your life?
No, I'm just saying city of my life. City of Milwaukee right now It used to be 1 week for a social worker to get to these people. Now it's 8 weeks because they did not do the Medicaid audit annual for 3 years for qualifications. So it's got nothing to do with me. It's got 8 weeks of people still sitting out there because Milwaukee County executive did not have audits done for Medicaid approval qualifications annuals for 3 years.
Do you know if we
now
have, hold on before you get on your soapbox now, do you know if we have the money budgeted for these audits? I assure you, if audits need to be done and they're not done, it's because we don't have the money for it. So here's the question you need to ask the county executive and your county. Hold on. Who's your county supervisor?
My county supervisor Listen,
I asked you a question.
I'm not going to get. I'm not. You know, when you ask me
because you don't
about
know
you
who it
and
is.
what's your color,
No, you're not,
you know what? I'm old enough to.
What's wrong with him today? What's wrong with him? If an audit needs to be done and it's not done, we have to ask ourselves, what service are we going to cut so an audit can be done? I asked her who her county supervisor was because I was going to guide her to have that conversation with her county supervisor, but she don't know who her supervisor is. So if you are going to invoke something the county is not doing and you have not yet had a conversation with your duly elected county official, don't call me. Not me. I'm not the one to call. I can't make no audit. They do the audit. I'll audit your ass off of my phone. That audit, I'll get that audit done in short order. Let's talk to Miss C. Miss C, you're on 101.7 The Truth.
Man, you are deep. You are something else. I just called to encourage you today.
Thank you.
You said, where do these people come? You said, where do these people come from? Don't you know you are a wealth of knowledge? Wealth of knowledge. Wealth.
Oh,
you are blessed. Keep up the good work.
Yes, ma'am.
And God is moving you forward. You should have your own show, really. But you just understand and know that you got what it takes. You see how you just answered her question? Even though she was not trying to negotiate with you, she was getting very upset. But you keep up the good work, brother.
Thank you, Miss C.
Stay right in the vein that you're in, and keep it moving, just like you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got a wealth of knowledge. The people want to hear you because you're coming from all sides, politically, socially, economically. Dealing with injustice, all kinds of stuff. God has blessed you tremendously. So I want you to be encouraged. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, thank you. I'm blessed. All right. God bless. Bye.
Oh, thank you. All right. Amen now. Might have me going to church after that call. That was very nice. I know that there's a lot of people that listen. My audience is very diverse, but they don't usually call. That's the thing. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm glad that different stripes of life call the show and listen to the show. Appreciate it. Let's talk to Joe. Hey, Joe. You're on 101.7 The Truth.
Morning. I was calling because I had a funny story. So, I believed it was funny, so I just wanted to share it.
All right, maybe we'll laugh too.
I work with a bunch of MAGA Trumpers, right? So I play like this psychological game with them where I tell them that I'm undecided. And I say, like, if you think Trump's
turn the radio down for us, Joe. Turn the radio down, please.
Okay. So I said, if Trump is the best guy, then convince me because I'm undecided right now. I have grievances with both parties. So one of the guys says, man, we got to address this immigrant problem, and Trump's going to be the best person to do it. And so I said, oh, for real? I said, hold on, though. But ain't your girlfriend an immigrant from Slovenia or Slovakia or one of them? Yeah, but she got her papers the right way. I'm talking about the illegals, the one that don't get their papers. If you do it the right way, then I'm fine with you being over here. But if you come over here illegally, then I got a problem with that. So I said, oh, okay. So I walked in on him having a conversation with his immigrant girlfriend. And he says, hey, hon, you probably could still go to that doctor's appointment on Thursday because your Badger card will be in the mail. I said, damn, you got an immigrant girlfriend on Badger Care, and you voting for Trump. Wow. And it just had me dying laughing, cracking up. So it's just like you said the other day, people just voting for two reasons. Either it's the hate in your heart or the greed in your pocket. There's no real explanation on why you voting for them, because you have an immigrant girlfriend that's on state insurance, but you got a problem with the woman that's trying to uphold Affordable Care Act and allowing migrants to come over here and work and make a living. So I just thought that was pretty hilarious. And I thought I should share it.
And I'm glad you shared it with us, Joe, because that just shows the kind of hypocrites that they are. See, they don't want those other migrants and immigrants coming over here. But if they sleeping with one or dating one or marrying one, well, that's different. They can come over here and get health care. No, that's different. That's my migrant. I don't like those other ones. But it's a bunch of hypocrites. Thank you for exposing them, Joe.
Yep.
All right. Joe said, yup. From the Pew Research Center, majorities of U.S. registered voters say immigrants, both undocumented and legal, mostly fill jobs American citizens don't want as opposed to jobs citizens would like to have. 3/4 of voters say undocumented immigrants fill jobs citizens do not want, while a lower share at 61% say the same of legal immigrants, according to a Pew Research Center survey conducted late summer. The impact of immigration on the U.S. job market has come up regularly in the 2024 presidential election. Supporters of Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris and her Republican opponent Donald Trump have points of agreement and disagreement on this very issue. Notably, majorities of Harris and Trump supporters say that undocumented immigrants mostly fill jobs that Americans don't want. Even so, substantial differences exist. 90% of Harris supporters hold this view, compared with 59% of Trump supporters. Large shares in both coalitions also say legal immigrants mostly take jobs that U.S. citizens don't want. 7 in 10 Harris supporters say this, compared with around half of Trump supporters at 52%. Overall, views have changed little since May of 2020. The last time the Pew Research Center asked these same questions. At that time, 77% of U.S. adults said undocumented immigrants mostly fill jobs the U.S. citizens don't want, while 64% said the same about legal immigrants. Partisan differences in views have also not changed much since 2020. We're not even concerned about them coming over here and taking jobs. That's a lie. It's a cop-out. We don't care. We know they're going to do stuff that we don't want to do. That's number one. Number two, if illegal immigration was such a problem, now hear me out when I say this now. If it was such a problem, why didn't Trump fix it? He had 4 years to fix it. He should have fixed it. It was his issue. It's his supporters' issue. They don't want the migrants coming. How come you didn't build the wall, man? You had 4 years, so we expect you to build the wall now. Should have built the wall before. You know how they putting all this stuff on Kamala Harris? Well, she's the vice president now. How come she didn't fix it? How come Trump didn't fix it? And we don't even care, quite honestly, about these people coming to our country. They ain't taking nothing from us. You know what they're doing? They're working. They're paying taxes. They're paying into Social Security that they're not even going to qualify for. I'm not going to subscribe to their racism as to why they say they don't want migrants here. I can't let white people tell me who to hate. That's insane. Well, you know, Sherwin, you should hate the migrants very much. You should hate them. Why? So they can have beautiful food trucks a half a block away from my house? Oh, no. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, no, I can get a burrito like 12 hours a day. Oh, it's the worst thing that could happen. Oh. I don't think they take cards, though. That's a problem. I like when they take my card, but taco trucks don't. Some taco trucks take cards. The overwhelming majority of voters in both parties do not believe these folks are coming over here taking our jobs. And earlier this week or last week, I cleared up, when they come over here, they don't get housing and health care. And I know that's going to come up when we do our truth roundtable thing, yelling, screaming match. I need to moderate that. Dr. Ken, your moderating time is over, sir. Because I don't want to get into arguments. I just want to just let other folks have, because y'all know how I feel. We all pretty much share the same views for the most part. Even people that are voting for Donald Trump don't like him. So we even have that in common. Here's what I think Trump does better than anybody else. He captures people that have been hurt, let down, or disappointed by people that they trusted or by systems that they trusted. He captures those people. Because Donald Trump is hurt that how come you won't let me have fraudulent businesses? How come you won't let me lie about what my properties are worth so I can go to a bank and get a bigger loan? How come you won't let me do that? How come you just won't let me fire whoever I want? How come you won't let me suspend the Constitution? But I'm the president. I should be able to do all the things that I want. How come you're telling me to call off the rioters that are tearing up the U.S. Capitol and killing cops? I want to be able to do that. I'm very disappointed in the system. I want to tear the whole system down because you didn't let me do what I wanted to do. So those are Trump's grievances. How come you're impeaching me? How come you're bringing up all of these things that I did? That's not fair. I'm the president of the United States. It's not illegal if I do it. Why are you bothering me? I'm the president. He's very angry. He wants to tear the entire system down because it does not allow him to do what he wants to do. And then you may have a white working class man somewhere in northern Georgia that says, well, how come these blacks are getting all these jobs? How come the blacks are going to college? How come I got to compete with them to get a job now? How come all these migrants are coming over here? And I mean, they're not taking my job, but how come you're letting all these non-white people in here? I'm very disappointed in America. America's not living up to its promise where me, the white man, I get to do whatever I want. I get to say whatever I want. Why is all this political correctness going on? Why are all the gays over here? Why do you have the LGBTQIA plus community? The white man feels like he is just being cast aside. In fact, the white man in this country right now feels like he's the minority, so he has a grievance too. Then you got black people. Democrats aren't doing anything for us. We still have all of this crime, and we still have all of this poverty. We still have all of this unemployment, and the Democrats have been promising all of these things, and our schools are not doing good, but the Democrats are telling us that we need to vote for them. The Democrats are not helping us at all. Donald Trump says to all of those people, come with me, join me, be with me, worship at my feet. I, Donald Trump, have grievances, and so do you. Maybe our grievances are different. Maybe our grievances are the same. Hey, blacks, you're not better off. Democrats aren't doing anything for you. They're ignoring you. Come on over here and be angry with me and have grievances with me. White man, I sure can relate to you. I don't like these immigrants coming over here either, and these migrants coming over here and eating cats and the dogs. We want cats and dogs. You hate the migrants. I hate the migrants. Come on over with me. Grieve with me. You have been let down, haven't you? Black people, you've been let down by the Democrats. Working class white men, you've been let down because now everything is gay. Everything is indoctrination. Look what they're teaching your kids in their school. Can you believe they're making your kids learn about black people? Can you believe that? Can you believe that this thing called public health is concerned about you getting COVID and dying, and they're making you get a vaccine? You have a grievance against that. You don't want to get the jab. Come with me. Follow me. Let me lead you. You have a grievance. I have a grievance. That's why they vote for Trump. It's not policy. It's not investment in education. It's none of that. It's what I just said. He finds people that have problems, that have issues, that believe they have been let down, that they believe they've been led astray. He said, come with me. I'm just as angry as you are. I, Donald Trump, I'm angry about different things, but we share the anger. Let's burn the entire system down. And Donald Trump says, I'll light the match. Warm yourself by the fire of burning the system down. And people are following him blindly because he shares their grievance. Everybody has a damn grievance. That is what he is doing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is powerful. To share grievance with someone else, to be angry and have your anger resonate with somebody else. And then there's the rest of us. We know that America holds a great promise it has never fulfilled, and we know that it can. Those of us that believe in one another, we have faith in one another, we know that we are stronger together. All the diversity we have in this country is beautiful, because if you come from this country, if you have this religion, if you have this ethnicity, your experiences are different. And your experiences that are different can combine with our experiences, and we can develop ideas through our shared experiences and our different experiences and make this country even stronger. We want the gays and the L's and the B's and the T's and the Q's and the L squareds and all of the things. We want all of them because you add to the diversity that is American thought. We're creative. We think outside of the boxes. We want all of these people to join us in the struggle to help America realize its fullest potential. And that's what the struggle is. Some of us wake up happy. Some of us wake up optimistic. Some of us know that we have issues and problems and grievances, but it's nothing that we can't solve if we work together. See, that's the rest of us. And it's the other side. They've been hurt. They feel damaged. They trusted the system, and the system is letting them down. They're not getting everything they always wanted. They don't want to work with other people because they're blaming the other people as to why they're not getting what they're supposed to have. And Donald Trump welcomes those people. He is manipulating people that believe that they have been harmed. He is taking their grievance and he is building a political coalition out of animosity, out of hate, and out of anger. And it will destroy this country. I'll never quote Richard Nixon, but he said something that was so profound, I can never get it out of my mind. Richard Nixon said this quote that I'm about to give you. Even though Donald Trump is Richard Nixon on steroids, Richard Nixon said, others may hate you, but when you begin to hate others, you destroy yourself. It is probably one of the most profound things that Richard Nixon has ever said. Another interesting fact about Richard Nixon, he's in the top 10 most intelligent presidents the United States has ever had. Could you imagine that? Now, we didn't necessarily see it in his administration, but in that quote that he gave, who knows when, it was profound. I do not want a leader of this nation that's already too fractured and too divided on economic lines and racial lines and even cultural and ethnic lines. We're already divided, and we know that we are divided. But I do not want a person leading this country based upon negativity and our divisions. I want someone who is part Jamaican, who is part East Indian, a woman who knows what it's like to actually work at McDonald's, a woman who went to a historically black college and university, a woman who's been a U.S. senator, a woman who has been a prosecutor. I want all of her experiences and her joy. And I don't care if she's got a white husband, because he seems like a hell of a nice guy. I welcome all of it. I'm walking into the sunlight with my optimism in this country, and I ask you to join me. I don't want to walk into the darkness and the sunset. That's what Donald Trump represents. This country is yin and yang. Let's represent the goodness and the positivity of what this nation can be if we just get over the nonsensical, petty differences. Everybody has a grievance. Don't let somebody organize you politically because you're mad at the world. Be mad at the person that is trying to manipulate you because of your grievances. Now get your asses out there and vote. Now, I don't want to have to tell you twice. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, join us live for the Truth Summit on Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for a lively debate and insights that you can't afford to miss. We've got it covered on the pulse of Black Milwaukee. Get your tickets to the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Your drink, sir?
This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The WIAA football playoffs is here. Tune in this Friday night as the #1 seeded Marquette Hilltoppers begin their quest for back-to-back state championship titles as they host the 8th seeded Milwaukee Marshall Eagles. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Left's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's because we had a caller named James Brown that called in. He's 70 years old. He lives in Germantown, and he said he told us he was a 70-year-old white guy. And I congratulated him on both fronts, both being white and being 70. All right, let's hear from some more of these African-American women that are Trump supporters in Philadelphia.
Problem. The part that drives me crazy about immigration is the fact that I really do feel is that the Democrats is celebrating people breaking the law. Why create the law, create a whole process for immigration for y'all to break it?
Trump says, like, they're coming to take your jobs, black job. How did that resonate with you?
Well, first of all, they are. They're illegal aliens. They are taking jobs that belong to the citizens of this country. It's just the fact that Trump is saying it out loud. That's why the fact that we rally around behind Trump, because at the end of the day, this is the stuff we've been shouting out as a community.
I was born and raised in Haiti.
You're Haitian.
That's correct.
So what do you think of all this talk about Springfield and Haitians eating pets? I mean, does that bother you?
That's a red herrings. Again, that's a red herrings. You guys keep coming with red herrings. I'm talking about the policies.
What do you mean?
It is a red herrings.
He didn't say it?
I'm not saying he didn't say it, but it is an issue. I'm talking about the policies that have been put in place. Now we're talking about red herrings, whether it's transgender or Haitian eating cat or dogs. It's silly. It's silly.
I agree with the idea of mass deportation.
So you have a Haitian man who we don't even know if he is a citizen. Let's go ahead and give him benefit of the doubt and says that he is. And then Alex Wagner asks him, like, what does that mean to you? How does that make you feel that Donald Trump is talking about your people, Haitians, eating cats and dogs? And he kept saying, oh, that's a red herring. Oh, that's just rhetoric. I don't even know how to conceptualize this. If you hear a man speak negatively about you, your people, your nationality, and you dismiss it, you're the threat to democracy. To dismiss, I can't imagine. It's almost like if Trump said the N-word, he wouldn't lose any black support. You know what black folks would say that are supporting him? Well, we use the N-word. Why can't Trump use it? I guarantee they'd say that. Considering what I said earlier, that political agreement will help us get the resources that we need to make Milwaukee a better city, because I believe it's us. Like, we know what Milwaukee needs, and we are the ones that are supposed to tell our elected officials. I think it was Linda that brought up yesterday. She was like, oh, I'm waiting for the leaders to come up with a black plan. Don't ever do that. We give them the plan. We elect them to work on our behalf. Where have you ever been at a job where the boss says, "Hi, employees, what would you like to do today?" No, we're the bosses. They work for us. We hire them to implement what we want to see in our city, our county, and our state. That is how this works. We don't wait for them to come up with a plan because their plans are going to be overly political. They're probably going to be partisan. They're going to be devoid of things that actually work, devoid of things that actually help. No, we have to tell them. The problem is that requires us to work, and we don't want to do that. Ain't nobody going to come in here and make this a better city just because you cast a vote for somebody. We have to stay engaged. That is the democracy that we are in jeopardy of losing. We can't fall asleep at the wheel. We have to still churn out ideas, engage your elected officials. White Widow called, and she's got a legitimate grievance about how long it takes for somebody to see a social worker. She said there's some audits that need to be performed. I'm trying to guide her, but I can't guide nobody if you don't know how your own damn government works, and you're paying for it. You're paying for the government. You are obligated to know how it works. Because if you don't know how it works, the kids aren't going to know how it works. And if they don't know how it works, they're never going to vote. Let's talk to this caller on line 1. You're on the air. Don't have your name, but go ahead.
Good morning, Sherwin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
This is Shadrach, the African guy.
Oh, hi. How are you doing? You're the Uber driver, man.
I'm trying to get my I'm trying to get my name across to your producer. I know he has some difficulties in pronouncing it. Well, thank you again. Whenever I come online, first of all, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity on your platform. Well, I could see and I know how disheartening it is. Trying to educate, I will use the word, do your own part in guiding the communities which you belong to on the technical know-how or political know-how of how a government is work or how a government functions. And there seems to be a constant pushback when you do that. It's very, very disheartening, and I could also see how naive majority of us are on how government works and functions. Well, we are living in a world where stupidity and dumbness is being glorified. We are living in a world where hate trumps love. We are living in a world where people just make impulsive decisions, and when you ask them, could you please give an explanation to the reason why you did what you have done, they look at you, they mope, and they don't have anything to say. Well, thank you for doing what you are doing, and I would say, what is more disheartening is when you see someone that looks exactly like you. I don't want to use the word black because I don't know if it's offensive. I am new into this community as a Nigerian now, as an American. I'm still getting acclimated to some certain terms and to certain jargons to use, not to be offensive to anyone.
No, you can say black.
It's very, very disheartening.
If you're black, you have more latitude and what's a cause than anybody else. You can say black, African American. You can say whatever you want to, within reason.
Okay, so seeing a black woman or seeing a black man telling me that I'm going to vote for them or I want to do this, and when you look at the track record of these two opponents, when you look at the track record of Kamala, when you look at the track record of Trump, it's a very, very obvious choice. But when you see a black woman telling that Kamala, it further reinforces the reason why we are where we are today as a community of a black. I always subscribe to Al's point of view. Even sometimes I just agree with him. Just like with you also, some things that you say that I don't agree with. But thank you for doing what you are doing. Every day by day, I'm learning, and I'll keep learning from you. I'm keep subscribing to your channel. Whatever you say, whatever you do, I'm here to learn from you. Thank you for doing your job, and you have a wonderful day, Sherwin.
You too. Thank you very much. That was very encouraging. So back in the day, hold on, Rick. Let me get this out. There was this term that we used to use. It's been retired. This term didn't even make it into the 21st century. But it was the worst thing that a black person could call another black person. Let me be clear about this. If we can't agree on Kamala Harris, black folks can't agree on anything. If somebody can manufacture reasons, mostly because of their pessimism and their grievances as to why they're voting for Donald Trump, and they will go against the betterment of their own people, what Donald Trump said about unleashing the police on us, where they have whole immunity for an hour, is insane, because I know some of y'all was mad about George Floyd. Donald Trump wants the police to be able to do that because it would send a message to us. But it was this term that we used to shame black people that weren't moving in unison with us, because a lot of our experiences in this country are the same. We've all been discriminated against or treated less than or made to feel uncomfortable, or we listen to white coworkers and colleagues make black jokes. Like, we've all had those experiences. So we must move in unison together as a tightly clenched fist in order for us to get what we are due, which is justice. And if there was a black person that moved against the grain of the betterment of our community, we called them a sellout. You're selling us out. Black Trumpers, you're selling us out. You are putting the rest of us in danger and in jeopardy. Now, we retired that term back in the 90s. We ain't bringing it into the 21st century. I'm bringing it back because it is more fitting now than it was then. All right, Rick, let's get ready to give away this little money.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all. Right now is your chance to win $5,000. To be entered into our Gruber $5,000 giveaway. Yes, you can be entered to win $5,000, courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. We'll take call number 6 at 833-212-1017. Call number 6 at 833-212-1017. And you'll be entered to win $5,000 from the award-winning 1017 The Truth in Gruber Law Offices. Again, call number 6 at 833-212-1017. And remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them online at gruber-law.com. For official contest rules on this $5,000 giveaway, visit 1017thetruth.com. Call number 6 right now gets entered to win 5 Gs. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What distinguishes Old National Bank from other lenders in helping people buy their first home and furthering their small businesses?
One thing that really makes us stand out is our grants. We have 2 really big grants right now, specifically for first-time home buyers buying in Milwaukee County. The first one is for $15,000. They have to be buying within Milwaukee County and reach certain income limits. And then the second one is for $20,000, and that is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indiana. We're headquartered in Indiana, as you know, Denise. So that is a second grant, and that is really the highest, most robust grant program throughout the entire southeastern Wisconsin area. So it's it's up to $35,000 essentially that a person could be receiving for their first home. If you are in a position that you're looking to buy your first home throughout Milwaukee County, please give me a call. Please contact me. I'm more than happy to help everybody that I can.
And what's your number, Anna?
Sure.
How can they reach you?
414-978-0283.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives. All of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be 2 individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Join Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, December 11th and 12th. Register at marketplacewisconsin.com.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Halloween, next Thursday, October 31st, we're going to pick our One Call That's All $5,000 giveaway winner. Be sure to tune in to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on Halloween so you do not miss your call, because if we call you and you don't answer, we're going to the next person. Again, we're giving away that $5,000 next Thursday, October 31st, during Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And The Truth is the home of Marquette High School football. High school playoff time is here, and the Hilltoppers of Marquette start their quest for back-to-back state titles. They're starting it off with a victory as they host the Milwaukee Marshall Eagles. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Friday night. They're going to kill Marshall. High school sports on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, presented by Gruber Law Offices. One Call That's All. And Truth Nation. Tune into our final The Truth on Politics next Tuesday, October 29th from 6 until 8 p.m. right here on 1017 The Truth. This Truth Family Roundtable will engage in a thoughtful debate on local elections and policies which will impact you. They will also break down whether Vice President Kamala Harris, or I'm not even going to say dude's name, or the orange dude is better candidate for our community. Do not miss The Truth on Politics next Tuesday, October 29th from 6 until 8 p.m. with Dr. Harris, Sherwin Hughes, Tori Lowe, Jason Fields, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk. Truth Nation, our first ever Truth Summit is this Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for insights and a lively debate you can't afford to miss. So reserve your spot for the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com. That is 1017thetruth.com to sign up. The Truth Summit is sponsored by One Milwaukee, because together we are One Milwaukee. And food provided by Shawnee's Exquisite Catering. So myself, Jason Fields, and special guest Senator Dora Drake are doing the first panel discussion at 10 o'clock. So I'd like to know what he's going to ask us, because I'm not going to get up there and get ambushed by Dr. Ken. Can I get the questions, please, from somebody ahead of time? Rick, make it so the phone can work again, in case somebody wants to call me at 833-212-1017. All right, where are we at here? Oh, I got some polling stuff for you. Now, remember, polls are like stepping on the scale when you're trying to lose weight. You're dieting, you cutting calories, you're exercising a little bit, and sometimes you get on the scale and you gained a pound or two. Don't be discouraged, because the next day you might be down a few pounds. It fluctuates. It doesn't mean you're going to stop trying to achieve your goal weight. And in this case, our goal weight is to elect Kamala Harris to the White House. It's not even like because she's a woman or because she's black. And let's clear this up about her blackness. This is so rich coming from black people. We're the only ones debating about her blackness. Do you think that white folks are debating about how German Trump is? No! Kamala Harris in 1861 would have been a slave. Black enough for me. That's all the black I need. If you would have been in bondage because of your racial makeup, her father is Jamaican. Jamaica was the first stop of the slavers. That's where they dropped some slaves off. Then they brought the rest of them to America. She would be in bondage like the rest of us. They wouldn't say, well, she got Jamaican and Indian blood. Maybe we'll just let her run free. No, they wouldn't. So stop it with that. Y'all making us look bad. I don't know what they did to us. Is it the social media that is just people are just so, You become indoctrinated by what you're seeing, and they've been able to take the grievances that you have, the things you're mad at, the things you're angry at. You're mad at the world. The world isn't treating you fairly. You're not making enough money. You blame the Democrats for literally everything. And then Donald Trump is like, yeah, I got grievances too. I wasn't able to overthrow the government. So you're mad at stuff as a black Democrat, and I'm mad at stuff too. Come and join my movement so we can be mad together and burn down the system. Oh, by the way, when we start burning down the system, this is what Donald Trump is going to say. We're going to kill your black asses first. But thank you for helping me. We really appreciate you. The way that we make excuses up for him tells me that there are far too many people in our community. I can't talk about their community because I don't know them like that. I just know, I know of them. I know us personally. So many of us have just accepted abuse that we can be manipulated. That's just the only thing I can think of. Because Donald Trump, with what he is saying and what he has done, is abusive. Telling people, and especially black folks that were dying from COVID, like the first 2 deaths from COVID in Milwaukee County were black men, telling us it was going to go away with sunlight, telling us it wasn't real, then giving COVID tests over to Vladimir Putin. That's murderous to us. We were harmed more than anybody else. I think that we confuse abuse with love. Donald Trump must love us. It's like a psychosis. And I'll bet you, if you talk to a black Trump supporter and ask them about their life and their developmental upbringing and their parents and what their life was like, I bet you it's all sorts of horrible things in their background. Like they've got legitimate grievances. They're hurt. Somebody hurt them. Somebody that they trusted hurt them. And Donald Trump is resonating with those people's hurt. He is manipulating those people. And here's what's making it worse. He's manipulating my people. He's taking our people away from us. And it's working. Now, I'm not going to fall into it's this large number of black men that's voting for Donald Trump. There's going to be a significant number, that's for sure, but I don't believe it's going to be that huge. But I know there's a lot of black men that's walking around with all sorts of trauma. And Donald Trump, in a really weird way, he makes people with trauma feel seen because he has trauma too. Now, his trauma is different. His trauma is he don't like people from other countries. He doesn't like immigrants and migrants. He doesn't like the fact that he can't do whatever he wants whenever he wants to with the government. Like, he's able to do that in his life, but he can't do that when you are holding the sanctity of the American people in your hands. He doesn't get that opportunity. Go back to Trump world, dude. Go live on a golf resort. Go do your thing. You can't run this country. Trying to bring people together with shared grief, that's horrendous. But I think that some folks are they confuse abuse with love. They think that Donald Trump genuinely cares about them, because if you talk to him, that's what they'll say. He understands us. Yeah, because he's angry like you are. Don't you understand you're being manipulated by him? And I don't even know how we get some of our people back. And I'm the first one to say, when we're trying to right the ship in the black community, first of all, it takes all of us to move together. And if we can't agree on this election, then we're doomed. We're even more doomed than I thought. But how do we get our people back? You know, because it seems like they're so far divorced from us. And every vote they give him and every vote they give a MAGA Republican sells the rest of us out. Like, that's not the country that I want. They offer nothing for me. Nothing. I can give you all the economic data you want. The United States is in a stronger economic position than it's been since World War II. But you got to keep in mind, there's always somebody who's mad that they don't have a job. They don't make enough money. And they're going to say, oh, the economy is bad. But those folks that'll say the economy is bad, they probably always had economic grievances, though. From the New York Times, polls will change between now and Election Day, and they can't be expected to exactly match the final election results. But if Harris won every state in which she is currently leading, she would reach the necessary 270 electoral votes. Wisconsin, she's up by less than a point. Pennsylvania, up by less than a point. Nevada, up by less than a point. Michigan, up by less than a point. Trump, up by less than a point in North Carolina. Trump is up by 2 points in Georgia. Trump is up by 2 points in Arizona. So if Trump wins North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona, and Kamala Harris wins Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Michigan, she wins. Trump could easily prevail if he gains ground in key states or if polls are already underestimating him. A shift or polling miss in his favor would not be uncommon, though, of course, that is not guaranteed. Here's another possible scenario. Kamala Harris loses Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Michigan. Trump wins narrowly North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona. Trump gets 312 electoral votes. Kamala Harris gets 226. If Harris could win by a larger electoral college, she could win by a larger electoral college margin if she gains more ground or if the polls are underestimating her even slightly. Here's that possibility. Kamala Harris wins Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Michigan, and North Carolina. Trump will give him Georgia and Arizona. Trump gets 246 electoral votes, and Kamala Harris in that scenario would get 292. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 1017 The Truth.
Everybody's welcome at Outreach, and that's one of the things that makes us special. We do offer services based on a sliding fee, so I always recommend that people call in advance to get all of the details, but oftentimes we can see you for as little as $25 for your whole visit, and that gets your vaccines included. Outreach has nurse visits available for anyone who wants to have their vaccines either the same day or you can schedule ahead. For those, you just need to bring in your ID and your insurance card. You can also schedule a visit with your primary care provider. If you don't have one, we have some that are ready and excited to meet you. So all you have to do is give us a call during normal business hours. That's 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And that's 414-727-6320. Or you can always visit us on the website for more information. And that's www.ochc-milw.org.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Dear Dad, I don't say this enough, but you're my hero. I know you're not feeling this election, but please do me a favor. Vote. Our Black history, my access to health care, and our voting rights are under attack. Extreme politicians want to take away our voice and our vote. Our future, my future, is on the ballot right now. You have the power to make sure my voice is heard. Please, Dad, use your power. Vote like my life depends on it. Paid for by NAACP.
UW Credit Union here. Celebrating new branches with ribbon-cutting ceremonies. And not just our 13 Milwaukee area branches. We're also including our mobile app, which is like a branch in your pocket to check accounts, make transfers, and more on the go. So now, branches are opening 24/7, which is great for our members, but hard on our fingies. Oh, cramp. Cramp. UW Credit Union. Local mobile banking made simple. Federally insured by NCUA.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our names, robbed of our language. We lost our religion, our culture, our God. And many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind.
Here it is. Bam! And you say, this is the dope jam. But let's define the term called dope. And you think it mean funky now? No. Here is a true tale. By the ones that deal, all the ones that fail, yeah. You can move if you want to move. What it proves, it's here like the groove. The problem is this, we gotta fix it. Check out the justice and how they
I had to. They needed some Public Enemy today, Rick. They selling us out. Stop selling me out. I ain't asking for all this stuff Trump is delivering. I'm gonna listen to this whole Public Enemy album. I need some Fight the Power too. They never should have taught me how to play my own music. Let me see here. I need to motivate our folks. There was a period of time where the music was inspiring and uplifting. It wasn't as angry and as violent. It was pro-black. It was pro-Africa. And it encouraged a collective self-esteem. And it seems like we moved away from that. And I don't know what it's going to take. Like, our people who are Trump supporters, are they going to wither away and die on the MAGA vine? Because MAGA can't last forever. No system like that is based on grievance and anger and division, it cannot last. Like, if you look throughout history, those are the things that destroy societies and civilizations. And I get it. Some people are very angry and they're very bad. And you believe that you will fare better if America gets torn down. No, you will not. We're only going to get one shot at this, because once we delve into authoritarianism, everything changes. And the first thing they're going to do is get rid of us. We serve no purpose, ladies and gentlemen. I know you want to think that we do, but in their eyes, if they get power and control, because black people don't produce anything that this nation needs to survive. In fact, they want a nation that they believe did better, when America was great, when we had no rights, when we had no ability to speak freely, when our humanity wasn't recognized. They still see us as 3/5 of a human being. And I say that because Donald Trump has got no specific plan for black people. But even when Kamala Harris comes up with a plan for black people, it's not good enough. It doesn't go far enough. It's a plan for everybody. So that tells me that people are just never going to be happy. You're never going to be happy. There's nothing that will ever satisfy you. And Trump connects with you on that. And there's nothing that I can do to help you or to stop you or to turn you around. It's just terribly sad. Y'all got me over here looking up X-Clan songs. Hold on, let me see. Rick, you remember X-Clan? Oh, you're too young. You don't know about this. The way this music used to make us feel. There you go. Rick knows a little bit about X-Clan. And I don't know how we get our people back, because MAGA's not going to be here forever. And then, like, what happens to the people that actually have faith in Donald Trump because they believe that he is the one and he has the way? Like, what happens to them when MAGA, when it ends,
shall all be moved.
How do we rebuild? Because we're going to need to. And how do we bring our people back into the fold? And how do we recognize and utilize our political power? Come on, Rick.
Abracadabra, a la baby professor. All hail funkin' lesson.
Don't have me listening to pro-black music all day. Since the whites have been listening and calling today, I'm going to give the whites a homework assignment. Listen to some Public Enemy. Fear of a Black Planet is a good one to start with if you really want to get to know us, because some of y'all think that you know us very well. You don't know us. We move in unison against one thing and one thing only: white supremacy. It is white supremacy that has divided us based on complexion, based on hair length and hair texture. It has divided us. We have to move in unison, in every moment that black people are not moving together, they are winning. If we allow them just a fissure, just a crack in our unity, they will win. They will divide us. And here's the thing. We all know that. And so by jumping ship and going to the other side, it's almost like, well, let me infiltrate the Klan and let me be a Klans member, because then we'll have representation on both sides. No, that's not how this works. I know some people are going to get very angry with what I say, but ultimately, history will prove us on this side, on our side, on the correct side, on the optimistic side, on the positive side. We will be right. And I don't want to say I told you so, but oh my God, I will. And I don't want to have to say I told you so. You know what? Maybe let me just relax. Let me calm down. Let me have a moment of maturity. I don't know what's going to happen on November 5th, and I sure as heck don't know what's going to happen on November 6th. But in the event that we are able to topple the fascist, we got to start working together again. We got to bring people back into the fold. Now, if y'all make it difficult, because we are the ones that we want to bring you back because we miss y'all. Trump got you. We going to exorcise that devil out of you. I saw The Exorcist last night, and that's what I feel like. I feel like Linda Blair had Trumpism in her, and they had to get it out of her. So we're going to have the exorcism. We're going to get that damn devil out of you, and we're going to welcome you back. But just don't make it difficult for us. Ben and Carrie are up next.
1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure